Welcome back to the morning news. Welcome, my name is Mike, I'm your host today, and we have many headlines to go over. Many headlines, and that is showing too early. Big headline. Twitter account is placed for trauma dump, but is just a puppet. Also, people are going crazy over the balanced data slate. Bar reports have literally died, and someone is on the chopping block. Okay, these are the main headlines of the day, but the first headline is welcome. My name is Mikey. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in to the morning news. Hope you're all doing well. Hello. What do you mean jump scare? Literally, I do this every Wednesday. I do this every Wednesday. It's a jump scare. I'm just here. Good morning. Welcome to my office with my tiny laptop and my breaking news sign, okay? It's very professional, very important that you all tune in. But let me know who you are, where you're watching from. If you're watching this live, thank you so much. If you're watching this back, leave a comment down below and say, hey, Mikey, your studio looks super cool. I bet that costs like a $10 million. And it does. It actually does. Okay. Excited to use a new Dataslate for my first GT of this weekend. Nice, Morn Grog. Hope you have fun. Have a good time. I think this is too loud, isn't it? I always feel stressed. The headlines are very stressful today. There's a lot to go over today. If you haven't tuned into the morning news before, good morning. Welcome to the news. This is your daytime news show. It is daytime TV because it's currently 20 past 10 in the UK. It's like headlines, but are kind of headlines that you're kind of interested in, but not mega interested in, but sometimes they're quite fun. Followed by more fun headlines, followed by the afternoon Bob Ross show, which is me painting. Okay. That's what's happening today. Okay. Hello. This just in. Late storm as always. Mercenary Q, how could you? Another day of the internet having a perfectly normal reaction to GW. Always and forever. Always. It is always so fun. This content writes itself. The Dataslate reaction to just misplaced anger at Mackie's poor timekeeping. I was bang on time. Bro. I'm already here. I can't flow anymore. I don't know what you mean. I was just watching your breakdown of the day. It's like, now I'm here. Well, welcome. These are the breaking headlines. Okay. First breaking headline. I don't know if you knew. The first breaking headline is we actually hit the member goal last time. You might notice it has now disappeared. It is not on screen. So this Friday, we are doing the Old World Live Battle Report. Okay. We made the member goal. We are doing the Old World Live Battle Report. That is like huge news. Big news. You have to just remember, okay? So this Friday evening, Old World Tomb Kings versus High Elves on stream, which is super epic, okay? So if you're interested in Old World content, it's coming on Friday, okay? You like the videos I've done? Great. You wanted the battle report, we hit the goal, we smashed through the goal. Awesome. We have a new goal. As you can see, chat chooses list battle report, okay? If you would like us to play a list that you choose, then let's get that member goal, okay? We're at 418, we need 450, okay? This will be up for about a week or so, because this will probably happen next Friday, okay? Next Friday, I imagine. I'll still need to arrange it, but this goal will be on screen for today and Friday stream, potentially Mondays. But that's the plan, okay? So this Friday, we're playing Old World on stream, Tomb Kings box set versus High Elves. And then the next live battle report game will be, thank you to Decknull for starting us off with a 5. Decknull, that's so kind. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. You are a legend. You are a legend. Thank you so much for the 5. Look at that. We're already 5 closer. You know, we're so close. We're like 25 away. That's nothing. That's nothing. Easy. We'll smash through that in an hour. I'll think of something else. But the next battle report that we do, which will likely be 40k, it'll probably be me and Tom. I still have to confirm. He doesn't know this yet. But we'll put this out and you can decide who uses what. So you can stop saying I'm bullying Tom. All right? So yeah, so chat will decide the list. That's the member goal stuff sorted. However, if you prefer to play Warhammer in person than watch it live, then I don't know if you knew, but the greatest tournaments are back. The greatest tournaments are back, okay? I did. Shut up, news. Listen, it's very big. I don't know if you knew. I'm doing it Thank you, Mercenary. I don't know if you knew, but I'm running the greatest 40k series known to man. Again. I've done it once already. I'm doing it for the second time. Okay. Just to let you know, I am running this event. There is a link in the pinned comment if you prefer to play in person than watch live. Okay. I'm going to have to tell you this every stream because tickets are selling fast and I don't need to miss out. And you need to grab some. Okay. This is big part of the news. This is the main headline. I'm doing the thing. I'm working. I work every day, okay? Okay. Anyway. It's happening at the end of August, and then there's one in April, one in November as well. It would be very cool if you attended. But anyway, that was the first headline. Very important, link in pin comment. Okay. We've done the drama headlines. The real headlines start now, okay? They were the pretend headlines. Back to the real news. The real news. Mercenary Q, thank you so much for the gifted. What if someone have appreciated bullying Tom? Well, you can choose be a horrible list. You can choose a horrible list. How's that? You appreciate when I get a list made by me? That's true. I would not appreciate that. I will not appreciate that. But yeah, we'll work with chat. We'll let them choose what we're using in a game. Good morning, Dats and Dads. Welcome to the news. Go for it painting. Hello, welcome to the news. More news, chat. I'm going into the news quite early. Normally I wait a bit, but I think I've got more news if you're ready for it. Because this was quite funny. This is the funny news, and then we get into the real news. How's that sound? This music makes me so stressed. I can't sit comfortably and just like vibe. I can't just vibe. It's very stressful. We're going to have to go back to more chill music, I think. No. It's no. Just a little news. Let's do it. More news. Does everyone remember a little red puppet? Okay. Has everyone remember the little red puppet? Who talks like this? That's a big word for Elmo. Anyone remember Elmo? I'm great doing Elmo impressions, clearly. Elmo. The official Elmo account, which is not paying for Twitter Blue, which I fucking, you know what, fair play, tweeted, Elmo is just checking in. How is everybody doing? Which garnered 172.2 million views, 46,000 retweets, because people use this as an outlay for trauma, such as Among Us, suffering. Okay, Dan's Gaming being very nice. If you look at yeah, okay. Contrarian, every morning I cannot wait to go back to sleep. Every Monday, I cannot wait for Friday to come. Every single day and every single week of my life. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Everyone is trauma dumping on Elmo. I don't know why, but it's very funny. Elmo, we are tired. You know what? For real. For real. Wait, wife left me, daughters don't respect me. My job is a joke. Any more questions, Elmo? Jesus, man. We started it by trauma dumping so hard at Elmo, the official Sesame Street account had to tweet out mental health resources. God help us. Elmo, I'm suffering from existential dread. I think this guy follows me. Does he follow me? He did follow me for a little bit. I think he's one of those accounts that follows people then unfollows them straight away. I'm at my lowest. Thanks for asking. Excellent. That's just totally fine, says Dominoes. This is just people living their life. This is amazing. This is just no mobile phones filming. Just everyone just doing their thing. The kitchen is literally on fire, and it's all. I think this is actually AI now. Looking at it. Oh, it's AI. That chat enhance. Is this AI? Oh no. Does not say Dominoes, does it? That just says that's just bullshit, to be honest. Man, I got tricked by AI. How could I? I thought this was amazing. Anyway, fuck you for using AI. Elmo, I just got laid off. Do you want my real answer? I need to look at the quote tweets. It's from a series of famous AI pics. Okay, well, calling me trick. Hidden replies. Chat, there's hidden replies. Chat. There's hidden replies. Do we look? Do we look at the hidden replies? I think we might. I think we're feeling dangerous today. We're feeling very dangerous. Not safe for work, maybe. 100% dick pics. Here we go! I skinned Super Grover alive in an alley. I don't want to live anymore. Why did they hide this? Why did they hide this? Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the newsroom to make sure I don't get banned. I'm getting used to my buttons. Okay, there's a few that I don't really want to show on screen. So we'll skip to the quote we'll skip to the quote retweets. I don't know why you have to do this now, but here we go. Elmo, check it in. Yeah, okay. Oh, Elmo, I'm gonna be real. I am at my fucking limit. Oh, mate, it's so good. It's so good. The Sesame Street social media intern immediately after posting this tweet. What have I done? Elmo asked a simple question.
What I'm gonna do. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What's that from? Oh, Elmo, where do I begin? Anyway, everybody's trauma dumping on Elmo, and this is what it started. This is what it started, chat. This is Elmo now. Look at him. But I saw the entire the entire Sesame Street team all tweet out me like, hey guys, just to let you know, if you need help, that's fine. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the tweet of it. I should have liked it. Did I bookmark it? Maybe. I didn't bookmark it. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I didn't bookmark it, chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, everybody's trauma dumping on Elmo, and that's how we are ending the first month of January. The first month of the year, January. That's what I meant. Which is very fun, very funny, very cool, very epic. What a great time we're all having. What a great time we're all having. Anyway, people are having very, very normal responses to to the Dataslate. I just need to close this so people can't see my messages. Okay, there we go. People having very normal responses to the balanced Dataslate that came out yesterday. That's the second headline. But I thought the Elmo one was very funny, so I hope you enjoyed it. So the balanced Dataslate came out yesterday, and a lot of people were very disappointed that Admech didn't get a buff. The best part of it is canonically Elmo is like 6. Imagine Trauma dumping on a 6-year-old. You know, that's literally what I do. That's that. I do that all the time. But yeah, there's lots of insane reactions to the balanced Dataslate. A lot of crazy shit happening because of the balanced Dataslate. And a lot of it is coming from the Admech group. Because obviously Necrons and Admech are the latest codexes. Everyone's like, why haven't they touched Necrons? Why have they not nerfed Necrons? But also, people are like, why haven't they bothered touching fucking Admech? Because they're shit. And I do keep saying to people, I keep saying the same thing. They're too new. They don't want to touch them. Patrick, thanks for the 14 months. How are you on this cloudy Wednesday morning? Did my t-shirt get lost in customs? I don't think so. I'll check up on it, though. My post office has been dog shit recently. So, I'll sort you out. I promise, dude. Do people know that GW doesn't adjust new codexes? Yeah, they don't adjust new codexes, and they also, the problem is like they're just too new. So they wouldn't be adjusting points yet, and they literally nerfed Necrons like 2 weeks ago, so they wouldn't be doing it again because they've got no data. But people are going crazy about the balanced data slate. As I said, one of them is competitive Adeptus Mechanicus, which was funny. It's time to write to GW. This is getting really out of hand. Either they are blind to the problem or don't fix it. These documents are available on Wargaming Community Downloads page, and any suggestions and queries you can have will be sent straight to the balance team at 40kfaq@gwplc.com. So people are angry. People are just angry, which is also funny because maybe the problem isn't the army. Maybe your player skill is the problem. Now, I know Nathan. He's a legend, okay? We played at the LGT a few years back. We go way back. But this comment had me howling. What actually had me howling was the next comment from the original poster. Oh, mighty guru, I call upon thee. Show me a winning list with Rustalker's Call, Archaeocopters. I will immediately prostrate thyself before such a skillful person and will tell tales of his humble wisdom. Oh, skillful one. People having very normal reactions. Bro, you named 3 of the worst units in the book. Oh no, there's just so many people so angry about the balanced data slate when honestly overall it's really good. If you only play Adamec, I can understand why you're mad, but you just had a new codex. Maybe keep playing it badly and then maybe they'll fix it. But if you keep complaining, they're not going to fix it because you're not actually making any suggestions. You're just complaining that it sucks, and then you're going, why aren't all my units really good? Nobody's index or codex has all units very good. That's the point. There's no internal balance. There's only like one list you can run, and that's kind of does well, and that's it. But this isn't exclusive. I haven't got a whole bunch of them, but this one person in particular was very angry. Very, very angry. Bro, you named the worst 3 units. That would be 5 units, actually. Don't you know that the planes have 2 versions? Don't you know that's actually 5 units? 2 of them are flyers. 3 of them are flyers. I don't know. But far be it. But far be it for you to stoop to such details. Go right away, name me a good list without breaches, Vanguard, and chickens. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Just use the good lists. Just use the good units. Stop moaning. If you don't like the units that are good, don't play the faction. But also, if you're going to say, write me a good list, use the good units. Why would I make a list excluding some of the best units? I haven't even read half of this, by the way. I literally read the first few, thought they were funny. Why would you not use... Why would I make a list excluding some of our best units? Not some of our best units, our only playable good units. That's every codex! Every codex and every index, barring Eldar, is just 4 of the good units taking just as many as you can. Show me skill without 3 crunch units, or don't tell me this book is good. Bro, what's going on? The only skill I need is... This is hilarious! This is amazing! The only skill I need is to show you how to man up and think outside the box. So it should be easy for you then. Man up, think outside the box, write a list. But we both know you can't, mate. And at this point, just trying to look competent. Quite pathetic. Oh, this is glorious. Thank you to the competitive advert group. This is hilarious. This is so funny. This is so good. I've been a top advert player for years. Look, check my ITC ranking, bro. I've been thinking outside the box when the credits was trashed here and good. I also don't play internet style lists if that verifies you are incorrect. You obviously aren't good if you can't win a few games with the current book. Look at these top contributors go at it. Literally, you found a competitive player when they get the top contributor badge, okay? Because they spend all day every day writing lists, talking about how trash your army is, and they know everything, okay? That's why they're top contributors. When you get a chance to share Harris, okay, Harris is the only one I can take seriously because he doesn't have top contributor. When you get the chance, share your winning list here as what you have won against and how you went about it. I want to see the creativity of a top advert player in action. I'm sure it's not 36 breaches, 20 breaches, maybe 20. I don't know what they're supposed to be. 3 chickens, onagers, and tech priests. I'm sure you utilize Cerberus, Fulgurites, Castellans, Dune Riders, and won every single match against such opponents as Eldar, Necrons, and Orcs. Look, I don't know if Orcs and Eldar and Necrons were ever on the same tier. I do understand this person more, though, because it doesn't say top contributor, okay? In any case, it's incredibly rude to go around and tell people who are rightfully frustrated with the state of the faction at the moment, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands and let everyone else who doesn't want to play a list consisted of 3 units to be annoyed. Don't forget that everyone has bought their army just like you, and being cut from the game is unfair. Yeah, that's like a valid way to have that criticism. As I said, like, most armies rely on like a couple of units, and that's just because we are in a game that Games Workshop doesn't balance codexes. Like internal, there's no internal balance like with any book basically, because there just always seems to be like hyper efficient units compared to what else there is in the index or the codex, and yeah, the thing is with it is you can't say the book is bad because I can only run one list, because the book is bad for different reasons. If you're running the one list and you're doing well, like most people are doing the same, when you play against any army, you basically already know if it's a good list, but just by looking at it before the player starts playing, you know. Where is this going in Goonhammer's competitive innovations? My last list had 30 priests. I like how he doesn't post the list. He just says he's good. He just says he's sick, but he doesn't actually post any list or talk about any accolades or anything. She's funny. She's very funny. Oh, man. Anyway, Admech in absolute meltdown. I think Admech will probably get a big change in the next balanced data slate, but until then, like they're just I feel like I'm repeating myself, but if you haven't heard me say it already, the codexes are too new for them to make proper changes, I think. So, it's a bit more facts than blue ticks, literally. It's almost like the real skill of the game is adapting your army by collecting a variety of units while then adapting your playstyle depending on the shifting tides of the meta. Yeah, because the thing is with it is what you've got to remember is when a balanced data slate comes around, it targets problematic factions, whether that's too good or too bad. And what you have to remember is if a big army comes down, your faction essentially goes up. You know, even if your faction gets no points changes and no balance changes or any actual direct change, even though every army has essentially had a change because the core rules have changed. Okay, lots of core rules have changed in the rules commentary. You know, what you have to remember is even though your army doesn't physically get touched, if other top armies get brought down, your army essentially comes up because the gap comes. They talk about the Goldilocks zone all the time, right? It's not just I make my army better, that goes up. Other armies coming down makes your army inherently better because they are worse, so it makes your game easier. That's what you have to like. I think that's what a lot of people struggle to like realize. You know, is like if so other people's armies get nerfed, your army gets better because they don't have as much stuff. Their army isn't as efficient, which means you're better at playing the game against them than you were 5 minutes ago. You know, if some armies get better, your army goes down as well. Crackbone, totally agree. It happens the exact same way. It's the exact same thing. If I sit here and say, if someone gets nerfed, your army gets better. If someone's army gets better, yours inherently gets worse. That's totally correct. I totally agree. It is a sliding scale that's very hard to manage. That's why there's balanced data slates every 3 months, you know? But that's what you have to kind of remember. If someone's army gets worse, yours gets better. There's only Drakari and like maybe like Chaos Demons, and they're only like the real 2 factions that like did super well out of the balanced data slate. We can talk about Necrons technically doing well because the Eldar came down, which is obviously because Eldar are now worse. Necrons inherently get better. Totally agree. But against any other faction, because Necrons are already at the top, when you're already at the top, you're not getting better against anyone else. Everyone else is just getting worse against you. When you look at like the main bulk of it, you know, kind of like Mario Kart, right? Mario Kart. You're in the mesh. You're in the pit. All right. First, way out in front, Necrons. Necrons are first place. Second place, don't know who that is yet, but they're okay. 3rd to 8th, you're all fucked together, right? You use one item, you try and throw it at someone overtakes, they get hit by the shell instead, okay? It's all Mario Kart. But you're on this sliding scale, you know? If your army doesn't change and everyone else gets worse, then you're doing better. The only armies you're not going to do better against now is Drakari and Chaos Demons, more likely, because pretty much, maybe you might do a little bit worse against Blood Angels because they got a little bit of a buff, you know? Pretty much every other faction got nerfed. So your army inherently gets better. However, I also understand frustration because I'd make a set out like a 30% win rate, you know? Like a 30% win rate. But they don't want to change it too soon because people complain that rules change too fast. So you can't have your cake and eat it and have a fresh cake or whatever other metaphors I can use, okay? You can't have the game change so your army's really good, but then not change enough so you can keep up, you know? Can we get a blue shell for Necrons? Literally, you know? Chaos and Eldar, right? Chaos and Eldar were right in front, neck and neck. Some fucker, Games Workshop, threw a blue shell, smashed them, and then Necrons just went, yeah, lol, I'll just behind you. That's what's happened, okay? That's what you have to remember. It's all Mario Kart, right? All Mario Kart. Well, Mikey, that's too nuanced for me. I just need to know my army's broken. I'm guaranteed to win a game before it starts. Maybe talk true. True. The era of bugs is nigh. Yeah, Tyranids have come out really well. So yeah, against for Adamek, Tyranids are a lot more scary because they get a lot more stuff. You ate your cake, now lie in it. True. True, Des. The speed of the point to the balance update is too fast. This is probably the slowest update we've had. Like, it's the slowest overall. Yeah, I don't know. You could do it faster. I think 3 months is probably okay. You still going to play Marines then, Mikey? Seems they took a hefty nerf. Also, do you play TTS? I will probably still continue to play Marines, yeah, competitively. I'll obviously play a lot of different stuff, just casually, but I will still be chiseling Space Marines. Now, I had a list in mind. I don't know what I'm going to do with it now because it was running triple whirlwind, which doesn't work anymore. I'm tempted to pivot to Black Templars, but I'm not super sure right now. I still need to figure it out. I need to play some practice games. However, speaking of which, it is February tomorrow. I was going to announce this Monday. And I also, no, I don't play TTS because I hate it. But if I can be converted, I'll be interested. I have TTS. I've tried it. I really didn't like it. But I haven't played it in so long. I feel like it might be better now. But I'm announcing this Monday. But I am going to be doing the Best in Faction Challenge for members again. So if you don't know, what I'm going to do is essentially get members from the Discord who are interested in competing in the best faction challenge. In between now, because obviously the ITC has just reset and it's just officially been bought by GW. The ITC has officially been reset. And essentially what you'll have to do is lock in a faction at the start of the year. And if you play that faction throughout the year, at the end, you will win a prize depending who's got the most points, essentially, using that faction. So out of the members, I'll give a prize out. I'll be competing as well, but there'll be a prize at the end of the year, like come LVO next year, of who does the best of the members, which would be fun. So you can choose any faction you like, as long as we'll only be counting the faction you start with. If you say, I'm going to play Space Marines, you play Space Marines like 4 events, you get your 4 locked in, and then you go and play something else like Orcs or whatever, the Orcs won't be counted, even if you did better. So it'll be like the best person out of everybody. About the most points, whoever performs the best. Because a few years ago, I did that, and it was really fun. It was really, really fun. And I did Best Space Marines. I got Best Space Marine player in the world, which was fun. Because that's what I was planning on doing with after the Warhammer World Championships. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to become the best Space Marine player in the world. That was the plan. So we'll be using ITC points to work out who performs best. It'll just be number of points, top 4. Whoever gets the most points, you know, and they'll win a prize. Which will be fun. It might be like, depending on how many people, we might do extra prizes like last place, average Joe who came bang in the middle and stuff, maybe second and stuff like that, but that'll be the plan. So I'll be announcing that Monday, and then we'll February we'll work out what we're doing, and then March is like when the season really starts. Or even sooner, but you know, like lock in your faction in February. Probably feels too slow if you play frequently, but if you're playing like once a month, I guess you can see it as 3 games before things change. I can understand why people think it's too fast. Yeah, Jordan, I totally agree, mate. I totally agree. The problem is it's too slow because people play a lot of events. People play like 5-6 games every 2 weeks, maybe. Some people play 5-6 games in 1 week. And then they play like a weekly game. Maybe the people play twice a week. Some people play twice a month. And then they feel like, yeah, like it's probably too fast. But at the end of the day, what you also have to remember is I always say it. It's annoying, but I always say it. I'm sorry if I'm annoying. But manage your expectations, you know. If you play casually once a month, you don't have to use a balanced data slate. You don't have to use anything. Just play from your codex with your mate. If you're playing a pickup game with a randomer, you're probably going to have to play the new stuff. But that's kind of like the nature of it, you know? So, like, yeah, it's just like managing expectations. Don't turn up to a tournament practice game. Don't turn up to a random guy. Don't say what type of game you're playing. End up, he wants to play a tournament game. You want to play a casual game and then complain about it afterwards. Say, I would like to play a casual game. I want some cool stuff to blow up. I will win best GSC. You can win best GSC, Andy. There is that you can win it, but I won't be giving you the prize. If you do better than everyone else, though, you will win best in faction challenge. You have cool stuff to love in comment. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I want to have a fun time. I want to make my warlord charge your warlord type shit. Not gonna lie, as a Nid player, I'm super happy with the changes. The changes for Nids are really good. What did I miss? You missed 2 big headlines. We're talking about the balanced data slate. The game is unplayable from the codex a lot of time. I don't think the game's unplayable from the codex. I don't think that's true. But if you're both on the same page, it's fine. The only skill check in the game is now getting into the playtest circle so your coaching service team has the rules changes months before everyone else. Look, that was just a comment I read, okay? That was just a comment I read. I didn't say anything. I didn't say the only skill check in the game is now getting into the playtest circle so your coaching service team has the rules changes months before everyone else. Can I give out free memberships? I think I can. Can you? I'm pretty sure you can these days. I don't know how. Suppose I can give out free memberships. I don't get anything for it, but you get a membership badge. I don't know how. If I can work it out, I'll do it. But all I did was read a comment. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. Missed the biggest news of all. Elmo getting trauma dumped. He did. Correct if I'm wrong, but these days competitive innovations and data slates are very much taken hold of the casual community, at least over here in the Netherlands. Yeah, but that's kind of like a choice of the club, right? You know, you don't have to, but people do. It's a funny one because people complain there's too many changes, but they also don't think they're allowed to not use the changes, which they totally can. It's one of those. It's managing expectations, I think. I think it's if you go out and say, I don't want to do this, then you're like taking like responsibility or giving responsibility to the other person to be like, look, you don't want to have a tournament practice game. I do. So maybe we shouldn't play. Angren, I'm going to be watching it today. I've like skipped through, had a listen. I'm going to be watching it today. I know the problem is with gaming patches are so common, people think they're commonplace. I know lots of law players who use data slates because of that mentality. Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of like... I guess you could look at it as like a gaming outlook of like, why would I play the broken version of a game when I can play the fixed version? It is a bit different. It is a bit different than a gaming patch though. So I think people need to realize that, you know, it's not quite like updating your game because there's a glitch, you know. If the rules were written well, you wouldn't have to make those choices. Yeah, but we're kind of like in the maybe they should have wrote a better game type territory, which is we all agree. Equal opponents have the best games. Yeah, exactly. I think just managing expectations is the big thing. So, anyway, more big news, chat. More big news. But it's actually the most insane reaction to a balanced data slate we've had. The biggest reaction to a balanced data slate. The people that are most engaged in the game are the people who play tons, and if the rules didn't change a decent amount, not many people would be engaged. True. I agree. I totally agree with that. But all I was saying is if you don't like the changes, you can't be asked to keep up with it, and you've got like a small group of you that meets up every week, you don't have to use it. But the biggest reaction to the data slate is this one. It closed an entire channel. Kinda. Bricky from Dice Check, obviously Bricky's very famous in the Wargaming community, host of Redemptor's Ridiculous, has actually closed the doors to Dice Check, which is actually super sad. He tweeted last night, data slate is out, might be time to make this announcement. See, it's because of the balanced data slate. Bricky's fed up with the changes, alright? We have come to the shitty decision that Dice Check will need to close its doors. I did my best to revive the channel, but the sheer cost of running anything Battle Report related is astronomical and was one too many things for me to handle at a time. Me and Demeki really tried to turn it around, but I'm not skilled at live production, and the opportunity cost of working on it was staggeringly not in our favour. It truly appears that all your favourite Battle Report channels are entirely held together by fan funding, something I am uncomfortable in asking for as I already receive it personally and via Adeptus Ridiculous. Mix that with location issues or logistical cost problems and costing more money to film than it makes back. Yeah, I'll make a video soon. So, Dice Check, obviously started by Magic Carp Use Fly. Or Magic Carp LOL, whatever. Basically a live battle report channel based in the US. And Bricky was like a really big part of it. He was a big talent on the show. Magic Carp, he moved away from Warhammer, went back to like doing League of Legends and stuff like that as far as I'm aware. I don't know the full story. I don't know these guys. I'm just going off what I've seen. And yeah, so he moved away. So Dice Check kind of almost closed its doors, but Bricky was like, I'll take the reins and I'll lead this one out. And yeah, he gave it a go, and he's had to close the doors. He's actually put out a video which I thought we could watch. I imagine I've probably got quite a lot to say about this, considering I used to do a lot of battle reports and now not so much. But it's very sad. It's very sad to see. Obviously, like, Bricky's a great guy. He obviously does the Adeptus Ridiculous podcast, which you've probably heard of if you haven't heard of Dice Check. But Dice Check is essentially a live battle report channel that live streams on Twitch and then puts out the videos on YouTube to quite a lot of views a lot of the time. As you can see, a lot of the views, like 30,000 views, 44,000 views. That one, not so much, but that's a 3-hour podcast. 14, 23, 77. So quite a lot of views, you know. It did doing really well, you know. Sounds like a company running thing. He said, but because of Balanced Dataslate is out, I'm making an announcement. This is the biggest Balanced Dataslate reaction. Okay, don't try and call me a liar. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I thought we could have a look at his video and maybe chat about it. To be honest, big reactions. Here I am.
It's me, Berkey. I am coming to you with not particularly great news, as the title of this video can obviously attest to. Unfortunately, after a lot of time, we have decided to basically end production at Dice Check. This is a ton of reasons overall, but I wanted to go through a lot of them for the most part, and well, that should explain why we haven't had any content out for quite a while.
So I just saw that. Turn it up. I've turned it up now. It should be a little bit louder. He's not really. He's just said something. He just said they're closing their doors. If you didn't miss that.
The reason we're ending Dice Check is a lot.
One sec. Volume master's down. That's why. That won't help.
A lot of things.
Hopefully
when
that's better,
I
chat.
took over as the person trying to run it, it seemed like it was something that I could really turn around, really kind of put some extra effort into it. You know, I loved Warhammer, all that kind of stuff, as well as Demeki, who was very excited to do the exact same thing, put all the time, effort, play some games, so on and so forth. But it turns out that I'm not particularly good at live production, for one, but also the cost of operating it.
That's like something that I realized very early on, because obviously I used to do exclusively filmed battle reports. You know, I used to do exclusively handheld filmed battle reports, and then that was all the content I made. And then COVID hit, and I stopped doing that. And then that's when I started to move to like talking head content. But previously, before I did that on YouTube, my main content was live streaming painting to Twitch, you know? Everybody did it, but I was the OG. I was streaming painting on Twitch before Warhammer had a category. I was streaming to creative, all right? I'm OG. OG. Okay? Shout out in the chat. Probably none of you were there. None of you were there in the mines grinding like I was, okay? Picking away at my life painting. But I moved to battle reports, and I used to do like handheld ones, and then we started doing live ones because they were super popular. And what we found is live is a lot easier to turn around than edited battle reports. So edited battle reports take a day to film and take a day to edit. Quite a lot of time, especially while I was working full time. So we started moving to live battle reports, and that seemed to be the meta as well at the time. Obviously, you don't really get YouTube metas, but like overall YouTube metas, but niche metas, like in Warhammer, live battle reports seem like to be the thing. And you'll notice like a lot of channels do live battle reports because once they're set up, they're relatively easy to produce, but they are very expensive to get going, you know? When I first started doing live battle reports, I was using 2 webcams. That was it. Again, before Warhammer was on Twitch. Before Warhammer was a thing. But yeah, so like now you just can't do that. You need capture cards, you need DSLRs everywhere, you need high quality cameras, you need moving cameras, you need everything, okay? You need everything, and it's so expensive. And if you've never done that before, it's very difficult. Like I've kind of like done a learning on the job, but my live production isn't as good a quality as most other people's, you know. I think it's fine. I think it's good enough, but it's very expensive, and I've kind of like learned on the job. You know, I've been doing it for what 6 years, 7 years now. Oh God, I'm getting really old. I'm 30 now. Oh my God. But it's very expensive, and like obviously like Bricky has like the money behind him to give it a go. Like he's got the money to. I presume he's got the money to invest. You know, to do it, and he can like he has the gear from what Jai's Check or whatever. But then trying to do that whilst not having the no knowledge of live production is difficult. I've been around so long. I was the live studio audience at the Outpost. There we go. There we go. Volpol here. You're a legend, mate. You are a legend. Me and Volpol here go way back. We go way back. Volpol showed me how to play Malifaux like 10 years ago. That's how far we go back. Didn't Mini Wargaming just switch from handheld to multicam, saying it's essentially the popular method of producing them now? Yeah, exactly. Play on tabletop were like the big ones that like really splashed the market for like production, and Tabletop Titans were the real splash for like live production and like how they do it. And now you see that let's say big channel. I like to say I'm a big channel. I'm also just a one-man band compared to everyone else, so I'm kind of like hanging on the coattails of a lot of the time in terms of when I say the big channels. But you know, like as I said, like the live production, the live meta and the production meta have completely changed. Look at Tabletop Tactics; they're like a good example of like play on tabletop coming on the scene. They need to evolve, and they've done it super well, super well. And they do essentially what Play on Tabletop do. My style is very similar to how Play on Tabletop do it because it's nice. I don't like the stand behind the table live production, but I essentially do have a live production of what Play on Table 2 and Tabletop Tactics do non-live. You know, I know Play on obviously do live as well, but my live production is closer to what they do offline than everyone else does online, if that makes sense. It's expensive, and again, it's learns on the job. It's, you know, I've borrowed cameras. I've spent years saving up for gear because everything's like 500 quid every time you want something. But then, as you say, as Mercenary just rightfully said, the problem is as well is people don't watch 3-hour battle reports. They tune in live for a little bit and then they piss off, you know, or you have to get it edited and then maybe people watch it, you know. It's definitely an interesting one, and that's kind of like why I've like not completely moved away. I'm doing a live battle report this week with Old World, you know, and I'm doing I've got a goal right now. Member goal down here, down there, you know. We're gonna do chooses list, but I think what Bricky said in his tweet, and probably what he's gonna say a lot in this video, it's reliant on fan funding. Like battle reports don't make the money on their own, you know. It's all fan funding. It's people being very generous, gifting memberships, super chatting, you know, doing all those sort of things, or becoming members for like exclusive content, which again I used to do. I don't do it anymore. I gave it a go, didn't like it, couldn't keep up with everyone else. I can't keep up with other YouTube channels, never mind people cancelling Disney, you know, and Netflix. I can't keep up with that, so I got rid of it. But now I've changed my business practice, essentially, as dumb as it sounds. I'm a YouTuber, do make stupid videos, but I've changed how I operate because, yeah, like a lot of like battle reports don't make any money. I've happily showed earnings and stuff in the past of videos, but I can put out like a video talking about World Eaters being super dumb and riding exalted at 8-bounding rhinos, and I can put out a 10-minute video that takes like an hour or two to make tops, and let's say it makes like 60 to 100 pounds in ad revenue for a 10-minute video. Okay, took me 2 hours to make. You know, I'm laughing. I'm making like let's say 100. Keep numbers easy. I'm making 50 quid an hour. That's fucking banging. Let's go. All right, but then I can put out a battle report that, like, Necrons versus Admech is a great example. I do battle reports because I love it, not for the money. Necrons versus Admech, 2 brand new codexes, has like half the number of views, took a day to film, took 4 to 5 days to edit, and has made about £4. You know? So that is average £1 for a working day compared to a 10-minute video that gets twice as many views that makes much more money, you know? And it's like, it's hard to say like, oh, well, you're only doing these videos for the money, but like talking head videos get much more success and they're much easier to make and make me feel good. And it's hard to like go, oh yeah, I'm going to go spend 5 days making this battle report. It's going to get 2,000 views and no one's going to care. It's yeah, it's just, it's shit, to be honest. It's pretty shit. Copy me again. What are you talking about, Varak? Always watching my stream. What you gonna talk about Buzz Dataslate later again? You gonna run marbles, are you? You gonna talk about Bricky closing his channel in your stream? Get out of here. This is the morning news. I can't wait for your newsroom next week. Can't wait for the newsroom that says breaking news across the front, Valrak. Did it last night. I know you did. Is it possible to work hard when there's no payoff at the end? Yeah, exactly. It's like, I love doing it, but when there's no reward, then how can you? I had a green screen before you. Lies and deceit. Lies and deceit. I've had a green screen for like 10 years. Just bite the bullet and become a lore channel. No, never. Anyway, let's carry on watching.
Has outweighed the cost of doing it for basically the entire time we had it running. We are in the red for every single month that we've done it for. And I knew it would be a little bit of a tough time to get it rolling, but I didn't expect it to be this difficult. I'm not the kind of person who enjoys relying on people for their free labor or anything. Even if we are,
so like, yeah, as I said, I've literally just said that. Like, as I said, I could put out a video that like takes me 5 days to edit and earns £4, or I could put out a video that earns 100 and it took me like 2 hours, you know? That's why Valorant puts out like 4 videos a day about nothing. Okay, it's just for ad revenue. It's really tough. Like, obviously, like, he's talking about paying people. Obviously, that's like super important. That's a big cost. He's obviously based in California, I think. So the rent of their studio will be insane, which won't help their production costs. But as I said, thank you for the 5, Patrick. Appreciate you.
I don't tune in for content. I tune in for the personality. Batreps are there for lists and the tune out. Hashtag Valrook copycat.
Thanks so much for the 5, Patrick. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's tough because it's expensive to make these things, and if you're relying purely on like ad revenue, then that's really tough. A lot of my income is made up of like a mixture of ad revenue, fan funding such as super chats and memberships, and sponsorships. So like when I run a video and I'm like, hey, this is an ad sponsored by X, please go buy this product. I'm usually being paid for that, you know, like a lot of the time. If I'm not being paid in the product because I think it's like a small company or it's brand new or whatever, a lot of the time I'm being paid. Okay, that's how ads work. So that is like a bulk of my income. I use a lot of that money to pay like Josh to edit. So usually if you see Josh editing a video or in a video, and he's been edited by the Pickle Jar, because it's in the description, it's usually because I've got a sponsor who's helped me pay for that because I can't afford to pay for him by myself. So like that's like super tough because like I'm kind of reliant on sponsors to pay for an extra member of staff. Because like memberships cover me, memberships and ad revenue cover me, and then sponsorships are kind of like investment, you know. That's what I kind of like, that's what I do it for. It's like a business, you know. I say business in inverted commas. It is a business. It just sounds stupid because I'm a YouTuber. But it's tough because, like, as I say, like, if you're not relying on fan funding, such as memberships, like every channel, you know, that does battle reports either relies on gifted memberships or bonus content behind a paywall. You know, they're like the 2 ways. They can't do it otherwise. They can't rely on exclusively ad revenue. You don't make no money anymore. When you have sponsors like Colourforge or Secret Lab with big provided products, do they usually pay you on top, if you don't mind me asking? I can't go into specifics about individual sponsors. I can give you like an overarching thing. Usually I either getting a lot of product behind the scenes and there's like a continued relationship, or I'm being paid. They're like the two things really. So I can't go into individual companies about who's paying what and etc. But I can tell you that's like the usual ones. I'm getting a bunch of products and I can basically call them up and tell them to send it to my house, or I get like a pay packet essentially. That's like the two ways that sponsorships usually work. You know, there's other sponsorships which aren't really sponsorships, so it's like affiliate links and stuff like that. They usually work in tandem with those things. So for example, if I say I've got an affiliate link down below, I might be being paid to promote it, but I also might be getting a kickback. If I like mention a product that I use and also I get an affiliate link, sometimes they're not paying for anything, but I like that product, so I get a kickback when I promote it type deal. There's lots of like different ways, but like the big ones of like, they're like the big two, I would say, you know. Can you not become a member on mobile? If you're on an iPhone, sometimes it doesn't work. Don't know why my channel doesn't like it. It's something to do with YouTube. You do have to do it on desktop. It's a bit annoying. You know. Mini Wargaming has the vault. Yeah, Mini Wargaming has the vault. They've had vault for years. Winter's deployment zone still thing. No, Winter's closed deployment zone. They like close it down for reasons and stuff. But they just do gifted memberships now. So Winter's is pure reliant on memberships like I am. So hopefully I'm more than happy to be transparent as possible. Obviously, like I have like contractual obligations that I can't go into specifics, but like I can give you like a rough overview of like kind of like where I come from, you know. Just do it from the website. You won't get charged over the top because of the App Store. Yeah, true. If you're going to subscribe, become a member, gift memberships, do it on a desktop, not an iPhone. They charge you 30%. Show me your GW NDA. No. Fully enough, no. But yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is it's very hard. Like producing content is hard anyway, but when you're trying to do such a large live production, I said like battle reports take like 4 or 5 hours to film minimum, you know, and they're doing it live, which is great, but then they are relying on fan funding. But I said Bricky is like in a position where he has his own channel. He has his own channel with 1 million subscribers. He has his second channel, which has a bunch of subscribers. He's got Adeptus Ridiculous, which has God knows how many listens. But obviously, I would say it's probably the most popular, or one of the most popular Warhammer podcasts on the internet. And then he's trying to do Dice Check as well. That's a lot for one person to do. And then to be only losing money, it's kind of like, well, let's just fucking cut the slack, you know? Hellstorm becoming a lore channel. Have you seen Maggie do quizzes? That's true. That was OG. Surprise you, but yeah, best thing to do is jump on a PC or go to desktop mode on your phone, because you get access to the Discord and stuff like that as well, if you do it through memberships. So thanks for the donation, JD. We really appreciate you.
Hellstorm becoming a lore channel. Have you seen Mikey do lore quizzes? Smile.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. But yeah, I can totally understand where Bricky's coming from, basically, from my own experience.
In a struggling startup situation, I still want to be the person who pays their editors and compensates all the individual people who come up to play, especially people like Demeki and Garrett, who came up all the way from San Diego, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive, to play Warhammer for 5 or so hours and then take that drive back home. It basically takes up their entire day. Not just that, but the fact that it is such a...
I said that's just like, before he goes on to his next point, I keep like just watching it and forgetting I should probably be commentating on it. But yeah, it's just, you've got to remember when you do like a live battle report, you've got the players. So let's say me, there's the opponent who has to drive over, get there over and stuff like that. There's usually a third person that's like running the stream usually, and then you've got the costs of like whatever you've got in there, like rent, electricity, etc., like all those costs, and that's just all on just playing Warhammer, you know.
But the fact that it is such a long period of time really eats into everything else. I found out that this is my tipping point. I had people asking, how am I going to be able to manage my own content, as well as Adeptus Ridiculous and do Dice Check at the same time? And at first I thought that, oh, Dice Check's only like once a week, give or take. It's not too much. It's not too bad. And I was wrong. I was flat out wrong. This was tipping point. This is when I finally had too much in my hands and it all started spilling out. Especially when you think about opportunity cost. The fact that I can go out and do any kind of dice check battle report myself with Garrett or Demeki or whoever, and it takes up a vast majority of the day in order to set up and prep, and lose money to do so, it's not great.
That's literally what I literally just said that. You know, I literally just said that. It's that the problem is that you can spend all day making a battle report, put it out and get 20 quid back when it's cost you God knows how much to make. And then, or you can sit at home, laugh at a balance Dataslate or whatever, make a 10-minute video that makes double the money. And then you spent 2 hours, you can start making the next one, you know? It's honestly like baffling. I've never known how to get across. Oh, fuck this camera. I've never known how to get across that line of like, oh my God, people actually like it. You know, there are obviously channels that are fine. They do really well. But whenever I do a live battle report or whatever, they just don't get the same numbers. Like in terms of like viewership, in post viewership, in live funding, anything. It's like, it's actually crazy, you know. It's actually crazy. The economics of React content and TED Talk from Hellstormwargaming. I know I'm reacting right now. I wouldn't say this is most of my content, but yeah, you're right. Like, it's why do most channels that are like huge just laugh at TikToks? Because it costs nothing and makes money. That's why they do it. So. Why is Kevin Roundtree with Balrog's face in my chat? What the fuck? You could make more money selling your stock of the end and the death of collector's copies you have behind the green screen. I could. That's probably going to be way more investing. Way more profitable even. Who's the Hassan of Warhammer? It felt like me a week ago. People listen to short videos in the background. Battle reports are not as good as background noise. I agree. Mulgog, you're totally right. So the goal you just did for the old world Batrep, is that enough to cover the cost already? You don't have to answer. Technically no, but what I'm trying, as you might have noticed, I'm trying this new. Here's a member goal. We'll do some content with it. Is like an idea where if you want that sort of content, maybe you could support me before it happens, type deal. You know, that's kind of, and it kind of gives me like a vibe of whether people are interested. If people give memberships to hit a goal, then one, you support me directly. Two, it's obviously like a good like incentive for you to like give memberships and stuff like that, because I do rely on fan funding. But it's also kind of like gives me an idea, because if I put a member goal on screen and we get nowhere near, you know, then I can just change the goal and do something else, which people might be more interested in. But if the goal like gets smashed like it did yesterday, I'm like, okay, yeah, people might be interested in Old World, maybe. But also it kind of gives like a little bump in revenue where I can be like, okay, there's a little bump there. That's going to be less of a hit to do all these things, if that makes sense. This is a dumb question. What I want you to support but don't like the goal? I want to support you but I don't like the goal. Yeah, super chat. But also, if you don't like the goal, say. You know, if people say the goal's shit, just saying in Discord or whatever, or say on stream, the goal's shit, I don't like it. And I'll be like, okay. Bitches, put your money where your mouth are. It's a harsh way. Yeah, that's literally what it is. It is literally that. So, abuse goal, best goal. So, the overall goal is to get a tattoo at 1,000, and if we keep going, that'd be great. You know, but we'll see. I didn't want to put an abuse goal too soon. I'm trying to do little incremental goals rather than like, here's 1,000, we're at 300 or whatever. We got 100 subscribers. I need 1,000 for a tattoo. You know? Tattoo of what? The tattoo will be the whatever chat chooses. So if we get 1,000 members, chat will choose a tattoo, and I'll probably stream it getting tattooed. Where cat is on stream, really filter out the losing chat. I did that once. Did that as a Halloween thing. I have cat ears up there. As well. If chat wants me to get as well, that's fine. Just a hypothetical. Discord has turned me on to Old World now, so I'm curious to see it played. I think Old World's actually really fun, and we're only playing a small game, so it should be okay. I am tempted to get it edited into a video, much like Dice Check. Maybe I shouldn't be following their footsteps and just closed, but yeah. Anyway, let's watch a bit more. But yeah, basically, I've kind of just addressed what he said, you know. It's the opportunity cost is like, I could do this for this, or I could do something else for that, you know. And that's exactly what I've already mentioned.
Especially considering the things that I could be doing for my own projects in its stead. Before me, obviously, was Matt's Magikarp, and he was certainly better in terms of when it, like live production and how to put this kind of thing together. I know we started getting a little bit better with time. You know, we added a background, changed the lighting, so on and so forth, but it was still not something I was particularly well versed in. So logistically, it just didn't really pan out particularly well. Financially, it didn't pan out particularly well either. And at the end, time wise, it just wasn't doing it. After talking to a couple of other battle reports,
it's kind of just glossing it over. I don't know, I feel like I'm glossing it over, but like, yeah, like it's just such a time sink for this sort of content, and you aren't going to make that money back from adverts. Basically, I think that's pretty much what we've kind of all what he's realized, what we all kind of like knew. But yeah, like adverts on YouTube are trash. You know, they're so hit and miss. Sometimes they do really well, sometimes they do really bad. But it's tough when you're relying on multiple people. So there's a sunk cost there, and there's probably like there's a sunk cost in the channel. Like Dice Check as a channel, there's a big sunk cost there of like there's so much there. There's all these subscribers. We've got a fan base. We don't lose it, but financially, it just isn't worth it. But yeah, it sucks for Bricky. Yeah, it's really shit. Mikey, do I look like I'm swayed by money? Damn right. It's not that I'm swayed by money, but again, it's one of those things. Why would you do one thing for nothing when you could do something else which is just as enjoyable, still in the same vibe, something you enjoy, and like, you know, like earn from it, you know? So gifted memberships or direct donations are better. Like either way, like as a financial thing via YouTube, YouTube take 30% of whatever you send me, whether it's a gifted membership or a super chat. Okay, like memberships are probably better because one, it helps us hit our goals. Two, by doing that, you're actually giving something out for free to someone else. If you send me a super chat, that's just giving me money. If you give out a gifted membership, you're giving away a green name and emotes to someone else in chat. They also get to join the Discord for free for 30 days whilst they've got a gifted membership, which might like change someone over to become a membership member themselves. So like long term, probably better to membership. 30% even for donations. Yeah, so which is why I have a Streamlabs link in the top of the description. You can send funny voices, but that I don't get a cut. There's no cut. So if you send me £5 via YouTube Super Chat, it'll read it out in normal text bot, whatever. But I lose 30% because that goes to YouTube. If you send a donation via the Streamlabs link in the description, you can use Donald Trump or whoever you like, but also there's no cut. So, yeah, 70-30 for everything on YouTube, and Graham. So I get 72% of whatever I earn. Like, yeah. I saw a Reddit post about Dice Check closing. One of the Play On guys commented saying it's something like 3K before rent bills, etc. to record and upload a Batrep. For them, definitely, because they're like a full production team. It's a little bit cheaper for me, but yeah, like that's quite a lot of money, and I think like it's before rent. Yeah, editing is a long time, you know. I probably wouldn't say it's in that region for something like what I do, but it is expensive, you know. Much better than Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is going through a lot of the minute. But yeah, on here, that's why I moved to YouTube exclusively as well. Speaking of Reddit, I know it's changing topic quite a lot, but you see the stuff about Anthony Vanilla? I didn't. If you got a link, bro, that'd be good. I joined for the Batrep to stay from Mikey all this time. Thank you, guys.
YouTube stealing from Povos trying to donate to Povos.
Damn God, thank you so much for the 20 tip. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, just to clarify, that goes to my PayPal. So I only lose from PayPal, and that's not a great deal. So rather than losing 30%, which is what? £6? Is it? Yeah, I would have lost £6 if you sent it. I actually only lost £1.28 to a PayPal fee. Thank you so much for the £20 tip. That is a $20 tip. That's so kind. Thank you so much. You are a star, mate. You are a star. I don't know if my member notif got shown earlier. Oh. Gaz, it didn't. Thank you so much for the 42 months, you fucking legend. What? Brilliant. I love you. You're amazing. Man, I really want to play Halo. I stayed to see what Kirio says in chat. True. Personally, I've stayed all these years for the personality and also the awesome interactions. Well, thank you, Josh. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't, like, it's a bit of a meme when I call people great name cringe, but, like, it's one of those, it's trying to, like, budge an incentive because it's very difficult, especially when you do it full time. Like, when I did it just as a hobby, I'd fucking do anything. It didn't matter, you know? I'd do whatever. And I only did bat reports. and then when I went full time, I was made, as a lot of you know, but I was made redundant. I feel like I'm pretty open. I'm pretty open about everything, I feel like. But yeah, I was made redundant. And when I was made redundant, making exclusively battle reports, and I was doing like a battle report like once every week and a half, maybe, and then one membership, one in that same time frame. So probably like two every 2 weeks. So one a week. I was doing one for a paid and then like behind a paywall, and then one for free. And I was made redundant mid-pandemic. But I'd already started changing that's when I first did coffee time, you know. My second coffee time video got 90,000 views now or something. But when I was made redundant, I got a pay packet because of redundancy. I was getting like 150 quid a month off YouTube and like the memberships and stuff, like max, like about 150 quid a month on average. And it was like, obviously that is not enough to pay the bills at all, obviously. However, what I did was use my redundancy pay to pay myself a wage. I don't have the redundancy nest egg anymore. It's all gone. But I used that. I used that to pay myself as like a nest egg. So I was like, okay, I've got like 6 months to turn this around, and then I can like give it a go. I got all my outgoings to basically 0, and then I like stopped going out spending money. Obviously, we're in COVID anyway. I stopped buying things because I was basically like on furlough for a few months, and I was made redundant. But like, yeah, like it was like a huge thing, and then I had to like turn it around, which is why I had to move away from battle reports because they just weren't making money, you know, and that's why I don't do them so much anymore. But yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, very fucking expensive to run exclusive battle report channels. You're reliant on gifted memberships, basically, or like just generally like subscriptions. Anyway, let's do some more
channels. I found out that a BR channel, pretty much all of them, survive entirely by fan funding, like pretty much entirely, especially if there are multiple people that are engaged in it and do it as a full-time gig, especially if it's a full-time gig.
Yeah. I'd say like probably like mini wargaming and tactics probably are like the outliers because they do the traditional model of like paid for content. But most other channels, they do it as well. They do like member only streams and stuff like that. But most live channels rely on like memberships live, you know, which is It's all they're reliant on. It's like, as I said, like tactics and mini wargaming are probably like they technically fan funding, but it's a little bit different. It's like because they're like essentially Netflix, their own Netflix type subscription service of like member only content. So yeah, it's like again, that's like it's similar but different, I would say. But most channels rely on memberships, and then they do member only streams for those members and stuff. Winters as well, yeah, true. Winters does mostly premium stuff because like most of the, it's weird because like you're like I'd say a live channel kind of does member only videos, but not really. It's less so than like something like Tabletop Tactics, you know, because they do like 5 videos a week behind a paywall, and then like 2 for free, you know. Coffee time was generally a big brain move and generally helped a lot during the pandemic. Yeah, it was like, because I just didn't make this sort of content. I didn't sit and talk to the camera ever. I was doing a battle report. I was reading a book or like doing a book review or whatever. Like coffee time it's like not really died, but what I do every day is more like a coffee time, you know? I used to do a weekly video every Sunday, if you didn't know. I used to do a weekly video where I talk about something that was interesting that's happening. But now I do that every stream, which is like people say like I miss coffee time. I understand, but this is basically coffee time. It's just reformatted basically. So yeah. Tabletop Tactics did a Raid Shadow Legends sponsor in their last YouTube Batrep. Looks like everyone needs extra revenue. Yeah, it's quite. I think it's good for them that they're finally taking on real sponsorships like that, rather than just kind of like here's an Element Games link or whatever. Because like links like that do make revenue, but nothing compared to like a pay packet from a sponsor like that. Anyway.
Fan funding is not something that I felt comfortable asking for. I know there are some of you who would be open to it, but we had a Patreon in the past, and that currently wouldn't even cover the costs of renting the space for the office, even back when. Plus, I find it very disingenuous to ask for fan funding when I myself already receive a good deal of it, either in my own streams or in Adeptus Ridiculous itself. To ask for more after all of that doesn't feel right. Even if it is a feasible thing, it doesn't feel correct. And honestly, I don't know if it would really make a difference.
That's quite interesting. That's like kind of like it's like a moral standpoint, I think. You know? It's like a moral standpoint, which, you know, like if that's totally fine. Like from a business point of view, it's obviously like not a good idea to say no, I don't want to ask for fan funding. But as a moral standpoint, it's like one of those things you can like highly respect because he's got his main channel, which has like 1 million views, gets like millions of views, like maybe like 1 million views per video or something stupid. I don't know, something really good. He's obviously doing really well. And then he's got his second channel, which is doing really well as well, which is like his stream content. And then he's doing Adeptus Ridiculous, which has a Patreon as well. I don't know how much. He's got like obviously multiple revenue streams for like, if you enjoy what I do, please support it, you know? But like again, like as I said, business wise, the main thing is if I kind of like, I've only got 1 revenue stream, so it sounds bad for me to kind of like compare, but like kind of like I'm like, if you like what you see, support it type deal. He already does that in 3 places. For him to do it in another one is like, I understand where he's coming from, and I really respect him for it. You know, that's like a really big thing to take on. To say I probably shouldn't ask for it because I'm already asking. Because again, when you've got like multiple channels and the same personality with multiple channels, a lot of the funding is going to come from a bunch of the same people. You know, which is good. You know, I think like if you like someone, you enjoy what they do, you should support them any way possible. If you can support them multiple ways, because you're in that sort of like, if you've got that sort of money coming in, you got that spare expendable income, then great, that's awesome. But yeah, I understand where he's coming from, where he doesn't want people to feel like they have to support him in a 4th place where they already support him in 3 already. And yeah, I really respect the guy for it. That's really good. Ricky's always been the kind of guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. That's the feeling I get. Yeah, definitely. I've got a lot of respect for him.
At some point, there were just too many logistical issues. I myself was already a very busy person, and like I said, this is the last thing I could carry before it all started tipping over. Demeki himself has recently had another kid, and it wants to spend a lot more time being there with them, which no one can fault, especially considering how long of a drive that is. Combining all of that together with just busy life time frame, you know, travel trips, conventions, all that kind of extra stuff that has to happen. It's not something that I can continue doing as a side project, and arguably the same with everyone else. Things were different back when because myself, the Meki and Solon were just talent. You know, we would come in and then play a game and have a good time, and then sent off in the whole thing. But the reason Dice Check had its first initial falling.
That's also like a vibe I got, which I actually thought was no, it's Grimslayer. That's the vibe I got, but I actually also thought that was a bit of a boon because because Bricky was obviously like someone who appeared on Dice Check and Demeki as well. And then they took it over and it was kind of like, I don't know, like brotherly love type bros hanging out. I actually really liked that. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, to go from, because it's really hard to understand, I think. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I always think it is. But like, to go from just appearing in like content to running content is very different. Obviously, Bricky's got loads of experience running content, you know. From what I can tell, obviously he's doing really well. But to go from that sort of production, which is completely out of his comfort zone, from being a talent, turning up, playing on stream, going home, to the live production, deciding how things are filmed, how things are set up, making sure things are getting edited, putting them out, thumbnails, etc. That's like a lot more involved. But yeah, it's definitely yeah. I liked that it was kind of like the two talent bros came together. I thought it was fun. So no, it's Patrick. Have fun, bud. I'm only able to be in Japan because of sponsors and donors, and it's very hard to navigate. They're asking for funds and informing people about the importance of the role. I don't know what you do. What do you... It sounds cool, whatever it is. Well, people end up helping because they wanted it. Keep it up, man. We got you, brother. Thank you. Is everybody leaving? Is it 20 to 12? That's it. Everyone's out. That's the same in any job, really. From being in the team to running a team is like harder than a lot of people think it is. Yeah, exactly. It's a very different vibe. That's for sure.
Like difficulty was because no one wanted to play anymore. Let me tell you, playing Warhammer, like in this particular situation, it murders your love for the hobby. Absolutely takes it out in the back and asks it to look at the rabbits. Like, it is.
Yeah, exactly that. It's it does completely murder any enjoyment you have for the hobby. However, I also struggle with that, but I kind of got around it in a very, very cool way. I started doing different stuff. You know? But like, yeah, I kind of went from only doing battle reports, which like really burnt me out, to talking about Warhammer, to doing painting about Warhammer, to doing battle reports about Warhammer, and like it's all Warhammer. And I think that but the aspect of Warhammer is like the three aspects of Warhammer: news and like analysis, gaming, and painting, like hobby side. I think they're very different. And the way I've kind of dealt with like burnout or like hobby burnout on YouTube is like mixing it up. You know, you might see like a string of all battle reports because I'm like, I'm in. I'm going for it. I'm doing tour practice. I'm so excited. And then you'll see like a string of news analysis because it's fun. Like probably most of my content is news analysis. I fucking love it. I think it's brilliant. But then like hobby stuff. Sometimes I'll do like a bunch of hobby videos, like the painting old world one, doing sponge blob, polishing armor and stuff like that. That's how I keep it fresh. But if you're doing exclusively battle reports, I understand why you can't be asked to play it anymore. You know. Missing the most important part of Warhammer, the friends we lose along the way. But yeah, like people. I'm not like everybody else. I don't think. I think people can get burnt out from it very quickly. They get bored of it. They get fed up of talking about it. They get fed up of seeing it. They get fed up of paying for a game and whatever. I think it's important to keep it fresh, keep it different, you know? Like, I don't exclusively do Warhammer content. I do 3D printing content, you know? That also helps it keep it fresh, you know? Yeah, it's hard to keep it fresh, and people can't be bothered. No, can't be bothered. That's probably the wrong term. People don't want to because it burns them out, because they're doing it all the time, and then they don't want to. Especially because, like, Dice Check and stuff were, like, relatively new to like Warhammer as a whole, because they all basically started off the back of Magic Carp's video where in the middle of the pandemic they all bought Warhammer, you know. So then they started Dice Check off the back of that. So then they kind of went from, here's a cool hobby that we did, we made a great video, got 1 million views, to here's a whole battle report studio, here's a battle report channel, we're gonna do it all the time. It's understandable why it happened, you know. But they were doing really well, so it's like also understandable why they wanted to do it. Like, of course, they would like capitalize on that success. But yeah, like, it can catch people out, you know. It's a real catch-22 because if you try to do other things, they tend to do less well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It can be difficult. It can be difficult. But I feel like I've gone from battle report channel to wargaming channel, you know, tabletop channel, which is like, let me branch out a little bit. We had a nice break from 40k because we're waiting for the Dataslate. Yeah, exactly. Like Old World is it's really nice that people are like super hype about Old World, because other games are really hard to get across to people. So, I keep 40k fresh by losing games on purpose, making bad tactical choices, see how my opponent capitalizes opportunities so I can learn how others think. That's really weird. That's quite an interesting way to do it, I guess. That's a real psyche analysis. Spend 3 hours just psyching your opponent, like trying to work them out. Interesting.
Very bad how much it does make you like just hate the hobby. And for the most part, that's what happened to a lot of the prior gentlemen. Matt, John P, the rest of them, they didn't want to play anymore. And I can't really blame them. I didn't want to play anymore. And I love this game. When I finally made the decision to stop doing this for a Dice Check, my enjoyment in Warhammer grew again. Painting was supposed to be a leisure activity, something you enjoy. And I was dreading it because I was not painting for me, I was painting for the channel. All of these leisure things, these things that I was enjoying, became monetized, and I therefore lost my enjoyment in them. Adric is its own.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, it's so easy when you've got a platform, a new content creator, you know, like, like what you just incentivize to monetize everything. You know, I like playing Pal World. I should probably play it on stream. You know, maybe people will like it. You know, I like painting Warhammer. Maybe I should do it on stream. I like 3D printing. Maybe I should do it on stream or video or whatever. And it's just one of those things. It's so easy. It's like a big trap, because then you're like, wow, this thing I really enjoy that I want to share with people. The best way to share it is to a monetized platform, and then it becomes a monetized thing, and then you lose the enjoyment. I'm a bit different. I think it should be fine. I try and pick and choose games to play on stream, so then I can play other games offline that aren't related. But I don't play games too much on stream anyway, because it doesn't work a lot of the time. Because of the pigeonhole thing. But yeah, it's difficult not to be like, I want to monetize this, I want to monetize that. You know. You should play Power World. I played Power World last Friday. Remember goal idea, play the Fallout you got bought by people in the Discord. That's probably going to be the next goal. Once we've done chat chooses list battle report, the next goal is going to be Fallout ball game. Fallout bought by chat. It's been nice how well the old world has done on YouTube once all the Dead on Arrival videos went away. Shows there's a space for the games. Yeah, it's just an interesting one because I don't know how long that will last. That's my other concern. But 3D printer stream, the next level of sleep stream. True.
Own thing, you just talk about Warhammer, that kind of jazz. The playing of it was the problem. And when you had to get a certain amount of models out, get this kind of thing out, it really smashed your enjoyment of it. So it's a lot of different reasons. There's the opportunity cost issues, scheduling and logistical issues, the fact that just was making no money for the entire time that we were doing it, difficulty in live production, personal life stuff, myself and the rest of them, distance, and killing the love for the hobby. So it's a lot. It was a lot. I know that there probably are a couple of people that have their own ideas on how to help it, which is fan funding, which I already mentioned, or like, go to Tabletop Simulator, which I don't think is the same at all, or just do like side videos like Dataslate reviews and that kind of stuff. And I think for the most part, the reason we've decided to not go with any of those is because it's just not worth the time. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and like I already said, I can't hold anymore. I personally cannot hold anymore. And
yeah, it's understandable because why would you kind of like in my opinion, you kind of saying thank you to Jimmy Williams. Jimmy, thanks so much for the gift of membership, bro. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Gavito Gaming, make sure you say thank you. Thank you so much for the gift, man. That's very kind of you. Really, really kind. What was I saying?
Member.
Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think if they just continue trying to do stuff that was like low cost, they're just kind of like delaying the inevitable, you know? Like it's understandable why they wouldn't try and drag it out. But I think he's kind of realized, you know, it's at the end of its line. I've already tried to revive it after Magikarp let it go. So I'm just like gonna kill it off now. We could also run a merch store that hosts other people's merch like Paul Hammer. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I knew he had a merch store, but I wasn't sure if it was like just doing it for Bricky. I didn't realize he has a merch company as well. That's cool. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it, bud. But yeah, I had no idea.
And not really a lot of us can either. So hopefully that explanation makes some sense. It sucks. You know, it sucks, man, to fail at something. You know, I mean, it's humbling and you know, it is what it is and that kind of stuff. But it really does suck. You know, I really gave it a college try. You know, really thought I could turn this around into its own thing, but it was a learning experience more than anything. I realized.
I wouldn't say he failed. You know, I wouldn't say it was a failure. I'd say it was like a learning experience. You know, I think what he tried to do was really commendable, and how he conducted that was really commendable as well. As I said, like denying fan funding because he doesn't think it's right just yet. I think it's a shame that it's going to go, but it's also like an experience for him that he can like learn from and grow from. I wouldn't say it's like is it a mistake? No. The thing is, he tried to revive it, and I think that's really commendable because obviously he had a huge passion for it. Again, the sunk cost of like having an audience and stuff like that is obviously difficult to let go. But I think they did really well, and I think post Magikarp leaving, I think they gave it a really, really good go. And again, I personally wouldn't say it's a failure. He might think it's a failure, but I think he should be really proud of what he tried to do. You know, it's like if he didn't have all these other things, maybe he could have like done more, maybe like asked for fan funding and stuff like that. But I also think it's very commendable of him that he didn't want to do that. He wanted to do it his own way, and he tried it, and it didn't work out. I don't think that's a failure. I think that's just an experience that they can learn from, in my opinion. Who is he? This is Bricky from Adeptus Ridiculous. Also Dice Check. Also Bricky. Also Bricky 2. And also merch company, which I don't know the name of. So, yeah. So, I like fully respect this man. He's great. No, Mikey, you're wrong. Success is binary. You win or you lose. True. Okay, loser.
This is where I cap out when it comes to projects, things I need to do, etc. This is where my limit is. So, it blows to fail at something, but I guess there's a little bit of resolution in knowing that it's my fault, which sounds weird. But like this is not on Demeki or Garrett or anyone. This is entirely on me. I bit off more than I could chew. I thought I could do this stuff and I couldn't. And they put in a ton of amazing work, and it was really, really good of them for that. And it sucks that it is what it is, but here we are. As for everything else, if you are subbed on like a membership on YouTube, feel free to cancel it, that whole thing. We're not going to delete the channel or anything because, there's old videos there. They're fun to watch. People want to go back to watch them. So like it'll just be here still, obviously. But if you're a membership or something like that, you can go and cancel that. For Twitch, same kind of shtick. We might be giving that Twitch channel to Demeki to do painting streams, but we haven't quite decided that yet. So we'll figure that out in the...
That'd be really nice if Demeki can still do stuff, That'd be really cool. Ricky's great. Love Dice Check, but totally understand why he's leaving it. Yeah. Like again, it's just a bit of a hard watch, I think, because it's just like him thinking he's a really shit where I don't think he has. I think he gave it a go. Obviously, like different people, different circumstances. He was leading it, which is tough. Obviously, that's probably why he feels like it was his fault. But I think he's done well. I think he's done really great.
Near future. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it was a good run. There's a lot of people out there I know who got into the playing the tabletop from Dice Check, and that's absolutely fucking awesome. And it's super great to hear. But sometimes this is just how things go. And well, that's where it ended up. But if you see any of us at like a tournament, local tournament, something fun like that, you are more than welcome to say hi. We'd love to talk to you. That whole thing. We'll still be around. We'll still be playing, talking about it. I'll probably make some videos on some Warhammer side stuff on my second channel personally, just because that's what I used to do before moving into Dice Check, like a tournament recap or something. But that'll be only rarely between all the other highlights, except for the new Dataslate that came out today. I'll probably do a thing for that pretty soon. But other than that, yeah. So, didn't want to leave you all just kind of hanging. There it is. Sucks a lot, but that's the world of business. That's the world of logistics. You win some, you lose some. Yeah,
it's rough.
Business stuff pans out.
Definitely rough.
It is how it is. Thank you all so much for all of your support that you gave us during this time frame.
Anyway, that's about it. Chad. That's it. If you didn't hear, Dice Check is closing its doors for the foreseeable. Not deleting the channel. They might be a return one day, but yeah, it's very sad to see. I think it's a shame because I think they were very good. They were like that, had their own vibe, had their own style, and again, this is kind of like they were already limping a bit after they had to like revive the channel and like obviously like learning how to do live production on the job with such a big audience already is going to be difficult, but. Yeah, a real shame, I think. A real shame. So, fair play to Bricky to, like being honest and being open about it. And, yeah, hopefully you've learned something as well from my insights of being in a similar position, No, not quite a similar position. Not quite as a... Just, like, my insight of, like, why I changed what content I do. And now this is what I do instead of just battle reports and stuff like that. But, yeah. Good morning, Bill Making Stuff. How are you, bud? Nice tuning in. He assumes he failed because he took charge of the channel. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think he feels like it's all his fault because he was like running it, but yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think it's failed because It's one of those. It's kind of like it probably might have done well because of fan funding, but he didn't want to do that. So morally, he was higher up than letting it, like, asking more people for more money, you know? Too long didn't read. Mikey saw it was working for Varrock and wanted to... I was streaming before Varrock streams. Don't be stupid. I don't do lore videos either, but calling grey names cringe, that was from Varrock. Yeah. I think on one hand it's quite funny because obviously he's new and they've just gone, yeah, fuck it, you can go do it. You can take it for the team this week. But also quite good for him because he's quite new and he's like, I imagine he's done quite well. I haven't watched his video, I haven't seen it. I just know that Josh is in it. So I thought we could watch the video and see what he's got to say. So I get to put my more reacting. Insane balanced date slate reactions was true. It's all here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it anyway.
Hello and welcome to Metawatch, Games Workshop's regular catch-up on all things matched play. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at Warhammer 40,000, and who better to do that with us than Josh from the design studio. Josh, how you doing? You good?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Pleasure to have you, mate. So, we had LVO a little while ago, the Las Vegas Open in
Look at him. He's all grown up doing his big Games Workshop job now. What a lad. What a boy. So I got a lot of love for Josh. I got a lot of time for him. He's a very, very nice person. He's a very, very good player. He's been basically captain of Team England or co-captain of Team England for like 10 years, it feels like. He's such a nice dude, and he's also very good at Warhammer. You know? Is the sound off? It shouldn't be. The sound should be on. I'll turn it up again. Just tell me where World Eaters are placed and why they got hit so hard. World Eaters are very strong. But some of the top armies were killing them, so I think they've like nerfed them in preparation for them being the best army. Now, I wonder the Eldar notes are so good if Josh is on the case. Yeah, Josh is basic. I don't know his full role, but he's part of the design studio for 40k now, and I think he's probably had a heavy hand on the balanced data slate because of his experience. Because of his experience, and he's probably the people who work for the rules team of who I know, he is the best person there. You know, he is exceptionally good at Warhammer.
Las Vegas, as the name suggests, and we're gonna talk about that in a little moment. But before we do, let's start with the numbers. So let's talk a little bit about the meta and some of the win rates for those different factions. So how's it looking?
Yeah, so we use it as the top line. We look at the percentages of win rates for the armies, and our zone we like to see armies in are in that 55 to 45% win rate.
He turned up, told Steve to nerf Eldar and melt his army. Brilliant. He's head of competitive 40k balance, I believe. Oh, okay. And Nathan has joined the playtest team with him. Oh, I did not know that. That's quite fun. That's good.
And actually, the meta's in a very good place in that almost all the armies fit within that. There's a few outliers that are still either just below that probably need a little bit of help, and a few that are consistently just above that, which maybe need a little bit reining in. So Eldari, since the beginning of the edition, have been very popular. Their win rates at the start were 60+%, which is very high. They're now trending down at 57 was the last update we did. Okay. But that's still above that 55 zone we like them to be in. And their cousins, Dracaria, is a good example of they've been below the 45% win rate for pretty much the whole edition, and they're still sitting down there, so they need a little bit of help. Right,
okay. So you're chatting about a little bit of help there as well, and something that the studio has done is sort of introduced like a new detachment for the Dracaria as well. So that kind of helps out a bit, and that's the first time the studio has done that, right?
Yeah, so for us, we have a number of...
I mean, they did it for chapter approved in 8th edition, and they did kind of do that. But I think what they did with Dracaria is like excellent. I think it's great. If that's his role, it's reassuring to see Jimmy finally hire people with the correct experience. Yeah, like Josh is a fantastic player. Again, there's a difference between like being a good player and being a good player who's also super nice. He's like one of the cleanest players I've ever watched. I've watched a lot of Josh play 40k because I've had to judge the top table or the final of many of his games because he's winning and he's doing really well. He's one of the most soundest, cleanest players I've ever watched, but he's also very, very knowledgeable, and the way he plays is like perfect Warhammer, you know? He's very open about what his army does. He's very clear of his intention. He's very clear when he's doing stuff. He's one of the best players I know. Not also just because of his experience. He's just very, very good at Warhammer because he's a very good person to play against, and it's always a joy to watch him play. So having him at the head of competitive 40k balance is the best thing Games Workshop have ever done. Okay, honestly, it's the best thing. They couldn't, in my opinion, they couldn't have hired anyone better. You know, in my personal experience. So. Anyway, I'll stop sucking him off and listen to what he's got to say.
Tools we can use when we're looking at the balance. The first option is always points. We can adjust things if things are a little bit too efficient for their use. Can we make them a little bit more expensive so you get less in your army if you decide to take those very good units, or units that are maybe too expensive for the role they're performing on table? Can we give them a discount so you get more in your army to have more tools to play? So that's sort of the first line. But then we also have the option to make adjustments to rules. So do we adjust a detachment ability, or do we adjust stratagems, or do we adjust ways that mechanics of how the game plays to either boost or tone down an ability depending on what it needs? A good example for that would be in this balance update for Eldari. One of the big problems a lot of people have been struggling with is Phantasm as a stratagem. It's been too consistent. It's a guaranteed move after you've seen your opponent's movement, whereas now we're making it a random move, so it's not guaranteed to put your unit in the exact position you want it to be in.
And what I like is Josh has used that stratagem probably like 3,000 times against opponents, and he was just like, yeah, let's nerf it. I actually love that. It's actually very funny. But I know, obviously, Eldar are a problem. It's nice if he's made all these decisions. He's gone, yeah, my army that I was using, fucking broken, let's nerf it. His list at the All-Stars, Incarn, double Knightsman or triple Knightsman, 10 Wraithguard. He was I think he came up or was one of the first people to be running 10 Wraithguard. And he went, yeah, that list get fucked. Oh, great. It's great. Has he bought an All-Stars too? I don't know. I haven't run the numbers yet. He might have done. I'll probably drop a message after this anyway. He absolutely stopped me in the invitation. I went for maybe 30% payoff play to try and put me in a winning position, and it did not work, and I got wrecked. He's just very good. He's literally taken a look at his library and said, God, yeah, let's nerf all this shit. The only thing he's not nerfed is the avatar of Kane. And he's one of the people who's running the double avatar list as well. Anyway, very funny.
So that's another tool we have. And then this time, which is really exciting for us, is with Drakari, to give them more options. We've done some rules changes. We've also done some points changes. But actually, we've gone every faction on launch in their index got one detachment. And as the codexes are coming out, you get multiple detachments. Space Marines have 7, for example. Necrons have 6. But for Drakari, rather than waiting for their codex, to give players a new option, we decided to bring out a full detachment for them to start playing now. Doesn't mean they have to stop playing Real Space Raiders. That detachment still exists. We've not replaced it. So if you love Real Space Raider, carry on enjoying it, and we've given that some buffs too. But we've also now given them a brand new way to play that lets them express their army in a different way, and hopefully that'll give them some more options.
It's great that those Drakari players now have got a little bit more choice there in terms of that.
It makes me wonder, like, how far away the Drakari Codex is if they're giving them an extra detachment. But I like what they've done. I like the fact that they're giving Drakari an extra detachment. I'm surprised that they've given them buffs on the buffs to the army rule, giving them the extra AP on the charge, giving them points drops, and giving them an extra detachment. I always say that the biggest problem Games Workshop have is when they buff something, they buff it in multiple ways, and they shouldn't. But I might be wrong, you know. Again, these people, it's their job to do this. From past experience, I can say that when they do this, usually it ends up being bad because they buff it 3 ways rather than just 1 or 2, and then they shoot through the roof. You know, they go from bottom to right to the top. But it's just a bit. It's a bit nervous. It makes me a bit nervous. Like, Drukhari got a hell of a lot in the Balanced Data Slate. They are the true winners of the Balanced Data Slate because they got so much to play with. And now the detachment's very good. Their army rule got better. The charge and getting the extra AP. Not only rerolling hits, but additional AP now. And they got points drops when they were already pretty cheap. It makes me nervous, that's for sure. This is so much more interesting than the Stew Metawatch. Josh is actually saying things. Now, I think we've got biases because, like you, like me, like Angron, we know Josh. So we probably got biases. I think the problem is, though, is like, even with those, but without those biases, you look at someone like Stu, who's like, I'm running the competitive 40k, and like, it's fine. I don't think it's bad, but when he goes to tournaments and doesn't do very well, it's kind of like, oh, I know he doesn't want to like flex and be like, well, I'm really good at this game because I wrote it, which is also understandable. But then I think then you get like unconscious bias of like, does this guy know what he's doing? You know, and I think what he does, or like what other, not just Stu, but like anyone really. I shouldn't be calling out in particular people, so I do apologize. I didn't mean it that way. But when people from the playtest team or from the event, the design studio play and they don't do so well, then it makes you, I think unconsciously you start thinking, huh, that's weird. But we all know Josh. You know, we've seen him on my streams, we've seen him at my events. You know, we've seen him at other events. We spoke about Josh in the past. So I think we have biases to say Josh knows way more what he's talking about. I think he does know more what he's talking about personally. But what we have to remember is I think there's a lot of biases that might be coming through to the other people on the playtest team or the design studio or whatever, because we haven't seen results or we don't know they're a playtester or wherever, you know. So I think that might be a thing that's probably coming through right now. So that might be something to be aware of while you're watching these videos, saying, "Oh, he's so much better than Stu." He might be, but also we have biases, you know. So, but yeah, exactly what Lambo says. I think we trust Josh more because we know he has experience and track record. Yeah, exactly. So just something to be aware. I'm not saying those biases are incorrect. So as you also say, Lambo.
That stuff.
Yes, yeah, and as I said, this is the first time as the studio we've done that, where we've brought a new detachment out early, but we hope that will help the win rate for Drukhari, make Drukhari players happy, and then if this is successful, what we can do is in future balance updates, if other books need help or other indexes need help before their codex comes out, this is another tool we have to do.
It's really exciting. So you chat a lot about we chat a lot on the show about external sort of balance and stuff like that, but you've also been looking at internal balance as well, haven't you?
Yes, so that 55 to 45 win percentages, yes, there is some internal in that when you go to an event, you can play a mirror match, as we would call it, where say if I'm playing Eldari, I play another Eldari player, but generally, most people...
He did that a lot, just to let you know. Stu is a game designer first, though, so he's not trying to break the game. Yeah, that's true, Joel. That's true.
People's tournament experience will be they play a variety of different armies. So the win percentage is really what we call external, in that you are, how do each army stack up against each other? So against all the other armies, we can see that Eldari is doing a little bit better than we'd like them to be doing. Drukhari, as the example, are struggling a little bit. But that's just one facet of balance. What we also want to do is, if you are playing your Drukhari, or you're playing Space Marines, or you're playing Necrons, or whichever is your favorite faction, what we don't want to do is, if something has a 50% win rate, you could say, well, that's just a tick, great, done, they're perfect. But actually, if every player feels that there's only one build they can run, okay, I must run this unit in multiple times, and I must run this to have any chance, and a number of my data sheets aren't giving me any options, that's not ideal either. We don't want players to feel that they have to play their army in a certain way. We want players to have choice and say, actually, I've got lots of options. Which way do I want to go? So what we're...
Listen, competitive Admech 40k group, Okay, listen, they're trying. All right, that you are heard. You are seen. Competitive AdMech players from the earlier news, you are seen. Okay, they know you, they feel you, they respect you, and they'll probably do something one day. Theory crafting rules is separate skill set for playing events. A person can excel in one but not the other. Yeah, exactly agree. Great rules team should have some people in there trying to break or exploit the rules. I know, Lambo. I keep saying hire me and they keep ignoring me and telling me to stop calling them. They should have me in there. I'm great at breaking rules. I'm so good. Anyway, Josh, throw me a bone, bro. Throw me a bone.
We're trying to do with this balance update is not only look at the external win rates and balance, but now can we start looking internally? And that's a longer process, but a good example that we've done here, for example, is with Chaos Demons. Currently, a lot of the players are running majority, it'll normally be Be'lakor, and it'll be a selection of Greater Demons. Bloodthirsters, Keeper of Secrets, Lords of Change, some of the special characters as well, Chaos or others. So that's a fun list to use, but we're not. A lot of the demon players are not seeing much use of the lesser demons, Bloodletters, Plague Bearers, Horrors. So what we've tried to do here is we've given those units a points break to try and make it more appealing for players to go, actually, I can take a mix now. I don't have to just go down the greater demon route. Can I take an infantry heavy list if I want to, or can I take a mix? And people hopefully now will have that choice.
Yeah, a bit of variety to stop, if stuff kind of like hanging about on a shelf, or you can get it
exactly.
down, you can use it. And
the ideal is always that whichever faction you play, you feel that you've got multiple options within that faction. Especially as the codexes come out, they have multiple detachments which favor different play styles. So you can go, okay, I like this style of play. This is my favorite army. I want to play that way. And you don't feel that you put that on the table and go, oh, it's not the best option. I can't use it. We want you to go, this is great. I can enjoy playing my army the way I want to play it, and still go to a tournament and potentially have the chance of winning. Or go play at your local club and feel like you are competitive with your peers in that you have a good chance of winning the game as much as anybody else.
That's great. Also, something else.
Yep. Yeah, he's so well spoken, isn't he? He's so well spoken. It's just nice to listen to someone who sounds like they know what they're talking about. And I think Josh does know what he's talking about. But sometimes it can come across as they don't know what they're talking about, or they're kind of just towing the company line. But again, biases are coming through. I think definitely biases are coming through. So yeah, internal balance is like something that everybody wants, but that, as he said, it's a long and hard process. It's not going to happen straight away. The main thing is have factions balance against each other. So he's like an actual athlete. I can see him in a Rocky montage. That's true. He is an athlete. Yeah. I think he does. Is it judo or something? He comes in with black eyes all the time. He's always got a black eye, because he does some sorts of martial arts training. So it'd be funny on the next Metawatch. It'd be well funny if Josh is on the next Metawatch with a black eye or something. That would be so funny. That'd be so good. Anyway, click the wrong button.
That you have kind of been looking at as well is commentary as well. So tell us a little bit about that and the update.
Yeah,
on that.
so we're doing an update with the balance update, the MFM, which is the points, and the commentary. The commentary we use, the game has multiple interactions with multiple indexes, the rule book, and sometimes when you have so many different rules interactions, there can be areas which players can be unsure how to resolve a key rule. So what we've tried to use the commentary for is to, if there's any particular issues within the rules that are confusing players, and maybe there's often what happens is you get two camps. Some players will adamantly say it's one way, others will say the other. What we're trying to use the commentary for is to help clarify those stickier points so that the game can flow easier. So a good example of what we've clarified in the new commentary updates is when you disembark from a transport, or when you deploy via deep strike or strategic reserves, do you count as making a normal move? we've clarified that to say how that actually interacts with the game. So you can, yes, you count as moving for the purposes of you haven't remained stationary, so heavy weapons won't get the +1 to hit. You any other abilities that tie off staying stationary won't work. But we've clarified you haven't actually moved. So again, opponents' abilities that say when a unit moves, I can interact with you. They don't trigger either.
Okay.
There was contention, do they trigger or not? Because you count as making a normal move. How does that work? We're trying to use the commentary to clear any ambiguity up so players can just enjoy their game.
Like the big one, as I said, mentioned yesterday, was the Inceptors deep striking 3 away and things that when you end a normal move within 9. It's so stupid. If you deep struck, they could then move, even though it's not the movement phase, it's the reinforcement step. Like Mists of Deimos is a great example. Grey Knights, tactical reposition or whatever it's called, the Space Marine 1 as well. They have it. It didn't really make sense. And I've had many of arguments saying that that isn't correct and people play it the other way. Again, like I said yesterday, it's so frustrating people with full chest being like, no, you're wrong, and then I turn out to be right. It is quite funny. It's quite exhausting though as well. So it must be exhausting for them because they're always, well, I'm right, man. You're just an idiot with your clickbait YouTube channel, and I'm just like, no, I'm just right again, and you're wrong. I don't like to be big-headed and say I'm right all the time, but I am right all the time. It's very hard being me. It's a curse of being able to read the rules. It's true. True. I think detachments, once fully released and updated, will provide significant internal balance by focusing on benefits on certain units. Hopefully that will provide means to use less meta units. Yeah, I think so. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. What matters is the rules to clear. It does matter when people full chest say I'm wrong, you know, and then they insult me. When usually I'm right. That does matter. I think that is actually quite important, to be honest. So.
And you guys have been super busy. You've also improved the accessibility of the tools as well that the players access.
Yes. So one of the things we've tried to do, one with the
so I can't Overwatch. You can Overwatch a deep strike unit, which is what, again, another thing I have a problem with. People talking full chest about a rule they've not read. You can Overwatch a unit that deep strikes because the reason for it is because you can Overwatch a unit that was just set up. Not because it's moved. You can only Overwatch it because it's just set up. Show me where in the rules commentary it says Mike is wrong. True, Joel, true. It doesn't say that. Do they not realise all they need to do to insult you is big green name? Stewie, true. True. The command bunker in the app is brilliant. I actually haven't seen it. It looks quite good though. I hate trying to look at rules on the phone. So yeah.
And the Dataslate and the MFM for the points updates. What we want to do is make it easier for players to see where we've made changes. So in the previous points updates, for example, when we made a change to a points for any.
Hellstorm apologized to Swabble. Why do I have to apologize? He's not they're not the problem. They're not the problem. It's other people telling them wrong. You know? Other people. I watched Tactics yesterday. Love them to bits. Think they're great. But them going, yeah, you can't Overwatch when you deep strike. That's not right. You know? Ugh. And then I've seen people be like, you can't Overwatch your deep strike. It's like, yeah, you can. But not because you made a normal move. Very different. I didn't watch that video, except for that bit annoyed me, but otherwise it was quite funny because it was kind of like, it was like Mike and Joe obviously play the game a lot more than Lawrence now. So it was kind of like explaining to your dad, like, things that have been happening. Like, yeah, then this happened at school. And he was like, whoa, what? And yeah, now this, what? Whoa! The people were doing that. That's crazy. It was quite funny. Watch it again, but pretend Lawrence is their dad, and it'll make more sense. Yeah. Any issues people have can be fixed by reading the rule. Yeah, it's true. I get it wrong all the time, and it was why I like doing things live, because I can be corrected in real time. There's nothing worse than putting out a video and you got a big fat mistake in it. But yeah, it's just people see people who make YouTube videos as like the messiahs and just take it all with like just as a verbatim, and it's just like, please take everything people say online with a pinch of salt, even if they've got a big following. You know, no, I'm not calling that tabletop tactics in particular. It's just that one. That was like a good example.
Units, they were just all marked in red, which so you could see exactly what's changed, but you didn't know if your unit had gone up or down unless you referenced back to old points. So what we've done in the new one is we've marked red for units that have gone up in points and used green for units that have gone down in points. So straight away, just looking at the points update, you can look at your faction and go, oh,
I do like that.
5 or 6 units have gone down in points. I can have a look at those and see if they now fit in my army in a new way. And then the units that have had to have a points increase, they're clearly marked as well. So that
the one thing they still need to do, is if they remove something, put a cross through it, because that's something that they don't normally do. They need to put a strike through if something's removed. Now, I don't think anything was removed from the rules commentary. I think we would have found out by now. But if they do that in future, it'd be nice if they do it. They've never done it before. They should. That's just my suggestion.
That we feel will make it easier for players to interact with straight away. The other thing we've done is with the balance data slate, there's a number of the entries from the previous data slate we've kept because we feel they're working well and we want to keep them in the game as they are. So last balance data slate, we made an update to devastating wounds and how they interact in the game. That's been positively received, and we've kept that, so it still lives in the balanced data slate. Okay. So what we've done for any new entries is there's a plus icon on any new entries in the balanced data slate. So if you're a new player to the game and you want to use the balance update, then it's all good to read and you can all see it. Whereas if you're an existing player and you've already been playing with the previous balance update, you just know, you can see straight away where are the new entries that I need to be familiar with because there's been changes. If there's not a plus entry, then for example, like with the devastating wounds, it hasn't changed from the last balance update, so you can continue to play your games as you have been doing for the last few months.
Oh, that's really useful.
We tried to make it easier. So rather than what we didn't want players doing is they've made an update to the balance data sheet but left some of the items in from last. Do I have to read it all again just to be have they changed one word somewhere which could change a rule? We've tried to make it very clear. Wherever we've changed anything, there's a clear icon to show you that, so you just know, okay, these are the sections that I need to be familiarize myself with, so I know what's different going forward in the game.
Now, one of the first major tournaments.
Can you overwatch a unit if it fails the charges, don't start a charge move? I don't think so. Yeah, because you don't overwatch when you declare a charge. You overwatch when you start or end a charge move. So you can't overwatch a unit that fails the charge. It's after the charge roll and they've made it. I'm pretty sure that's right. The feature of being able to actually attach characters to their chosen units so that they only need to pull up one page of rules data sheets would be great. Same way mixed units work. I suppose 2 data sheets isn't too bad. I tend to put them together when I'm playing them, but that's just me. What if you start a charge move, get Overwatch, and now fail the charge? I saw this raised the other day. It's a big, interesting one that I think I'll have to do a full demonstration for. Because there was a certain someone in there saying it would never happen, but there are many instances that it can happen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one. It's a very funny one, though. Because the instance is, chap, if you make a charge, let's say your target... Right, we're doing it. MS Paint. MS Paint time. Right, here we go. Right, we need a pen. Target is here. This is what you're charging. You're charging some Space Marines in green, right? And then your charge, your unit is like this, let's say. Okay? This is important. And you're going to charge that way. Let's say this distance is 3 inches. And you roll a 3. Okay? You're not within 3. You're 3 inches away. You need a 3. Okay? This unit then overwatches, right? Overwatches. And it kills 2 units. 2 models. And now this distance is another 3. So overall, it is now 6 inches. Have they failed the charge? Or did they make the charge? You know? Do you still make the charge? I have no idea. I really need to dig into this one because it's very funny. But this is a situation that could happen whenever. Why would they pull from the front? I don't know. Maybe these are characters. Let's say these are characters now. Let's say it's the fucking aggressors. It's 2 aggressors. Ag, and this is Bio and Captain. Let's say it's that. What happens then? What happens then? There's no rule saying you can't pull from the front. Can't you only watch if the charge is successful? The charge is successful. They've started the charge move. You know? The charge is successful. They rolled a 3. So when they started the charge move, they rolled a 3. Okay. They made the charge. You then overwatch because they've started a charge move. Now they go to start the charge move, but they can't actually make the unit. Can you pull exploded hellblasters to make the charge longer? Yeah, you could. Okay. Let's do it the other way. All right. Let's do it the other way. It's very similar. But let's say this is charge. I'll put it down here so you can see. Charger. Charge. And these are hellblasters. Hellblast. Blaster. Okay. So I overwatch and I lose 2 due to hazardous. Okay. Can they still make the charge? They move 3. Maybe. But then they failed the charge because they're not in an inch. Right? I need to look this up. I need to do a deep dive because I can break 40k again. It's going to be so good. If this is AOS, then absolutely yes. In AOS, yeah. But let's say you overcharge and lose 2. The charge rule doesn't say anything about having to end in engagement. But to be a successful charge, you have to roll to be in engagement, I think. But I need to check this up. You know? Let's have a look at the core rule, see what it says. Don't you think this is funny? I love shit like this. This is why GW should hire me. This is so good. This is amazing. Core rules. Right. Let's do this. We're doing it, chat. We're doing it together. Charge. Okay. In your charge phase, if you have any eligible units on the battlefield that want to charge, close copy, you can select those units one at a time to declare a charge. Each of those selected ones. A charge is eligible to charge within 12 inches of 1 or more enemy units at the start of the charge phase, unless, etc. Once you select all the units to charge, you must select 1 or more units within 12 to be the target. You then make a charge roll for the charging unit by rolling 2d6. The result is the maximum number of inches each model in that unit can be moved if a charge move is possible. For a charge move to be possible, the charge roll must be sufficient to enable the charging unit to end that move within engagement range of every enemy unit, every unit that you select as a charge, without moving within engagement range of another unit and in coherency. So for a charge roll to be successful, you have to make engagement range, which is 1 inch. If any of these conditions cannot be matched, the charge fails. With no models in charge, you move this phase. Otherwise, the charge is successful, you move the models. When doing so, each model in charge unit must end its charge move closer to one of the units selected to target charge. If you can also move a charging model so that it ends its charge move in base to base contact with 1 or more enemy models while still enabling the charging unit to end its move, satisfying all the conditions above, you must do so. So I think that might cover it because it doesn't say you have to end. The charge roll has to make engagement, but you don't have to end an engagement. You just have to move closer. So that might be right. Missed the beginning of the MS Paint session in my head. The question is, who would win this fight? 2 tomatoes or a bunch of grapes? Okay, so the bunch of grapes is a unit charging. The bunch of tomatoes are hell blasters that overwatch and then make the charge roll longer, essentially. I think you're probably okay. I think you would charge and not be in combat, and then you would activate because you made a charge this turn. Right? I think. Where's stratagems? Overwatch. Overwatch. Your opponent's movement or charge phase just after an enemy unit is set up, or when an enemy unit starts or ends a normal advance, fallback, or charge move. One unit can shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time you can hit a 6. Yes, I think you would have, even though you technically now can't make the charge, you would still charge. You'd be out of engagement range because you are too far away. Because in this instance, again, just to explain any late arrivals, you charge here, rolled 3. You roll a 2 and a 1. Just to be clarified, you roll a 2 and a 1 because you shit at rolling dice, like me. There you go, there's some dice. You make the charge. The Hellblasters then overwatch and lose 2 due to hazardous. Now you need a 6 to make combat. You would actually still move 3 and be out of engagement range, but then because you charge, you will still activate, be able to pile in 3 either to an enemy unit or to an objective. But you must end your charge with engagement. No, we just read that, Justin. Did I just close it? I think I just closed it. The roll has to be enough to make engagement, but when you move, you must end closer. That is the only stipulation. It says you must move closer if you can end a base to base. All good, Justin. Don't worry. So essentially, you would still charge. You would not fail the charge because you were successful when you rolled it and made the charge move. You get...
Why does Overwatch not happen after the charge move has completed so it triggers similar to Unleash Hell in EOS? Zero problems with the latter.
Thank you so much for the tip, brother. I really appreciate it. The reason it doesn't is because in 40k, you can't shoot while in combat. And if you say you can shoot while you're in combat, it opens up less tactical flexibility of being able to charge from out of line of sight. Let's say you were 4 inches away after the charge and after the Hellblasters die. You would not be able to pile in, though. You would only be able to activate to pile in either... Oh, let me check. I should probably check piling. Yeah, I should check piling. Because I know you can't you have to consolidate 3 inches onto an objective. Well, let's double check piling. I think you're right, Josh, but let me just double check. Provide phase. God damn it, I scrolled way too far. Piling. When a unit piles in, you can move each model in that unit that is not already in base-to-base contact with an enemy model up to 3 inches. This is a piling move. For a piling to be possible, a unit must end these moves within the engagement range of 1 or more enemy units and unit coherency. If these cannot be met, no models that unit can make piling moves this phase, or as you progress to making melee attacks in that unit. Otherwise, the unit cannot pile in. Each time a model makes a piling move, it must end closer to the closest enemy model. If it can also end in basic base, it must. You don't make any melee attacks because you couldn't make combat, because you're 4 inches away now. And after it makes all melee attacks, it consolidates. So you wouldn't move unless you can make combat. So your charge, you just move forwards. So yeah, you wouldn't move at all. You'd charge in our MS Paint instance. Let's say this one died. So now you're 9 inches away. You would charge. You are 6 inches away from the enemy. You can't pile into the enemy unit because there's no one within 3. So you would just not move. I love MS Paints. Me too. Yeah, an interesting one. That's for sure. Anyway, what if you can pile in 6? Then you can pile in 6. When you pile in, you must make engagement. If not, you can't move. If you've got a rule that lets you move further, then yeah, that's fine. So anyway, where were we?
2020.
We're back on this now. I think we got there. Yes, you can Overwatch. If you then fail the charge, you still move. You just move towards the enemy unit, basically. You have to move towards the enemy unit you charged. But the Overwatch triggers off a successful charge, so would that get to Overwatch? No, because they've already started the charge move if they don't make it. It's happening at the same time as they're moving, essentially. I'm trying to confuse. Stewie, he's like, no. I'm putting you down. No.
4 happened recently, the Las Vegas Open, and that attracts tons of players from all over the world. And I think what's really great to see is there's such a wide variety of factions in that top 8 list that you've got. You've got Necrons, Eldari, Tyranids, Leagues of Votann as well. That's got to be something that you guys are really happy to see.
Yes. So for us, I mean, when you look at these big events, what we hope not to see is if the top 10 is or top 8 is dominated by 1 or 2 factions, that doesn't show how healthy the meta is. Whereas if like you've got with LVO, I mean, I think it was 907 players at LVO, so I'm fairly sure it's the biggest 40k event currently, a singles event that runs each year. And then there, as you say, you look at that mix, and it's a good mix of different armies. So that's what we want. We want players to be able to go to events and feel that they don't have to take a particular faction to have a chance of winning. We want players to be able to go to events, and as you said there, there's a Astra Militarum player, there's a Votann player, there's a Chaos Space Marine player, there's Eldari, there's Necrons, there's Tyranids. So all of those players, particularly they made out of 907 players, they made the top 8. They've all had the potential to go on and win that event, which is, for us, is a great sign that the meta's in a good place. Yeah. And there's just a few outliers that we want to keep working on. But overall, the game is in a good place to be.
Yeah. And speaking of winners as well, the event was won by Matt with his Necrons, who faced off against Folga, and he was using Eldari. So tell us a little bit about how that game went as well.
Yeah, so Necrons are, I guess, not new on the block, but they've just had their codex release. So they've changed quite significantly from the index, where we had, as I just discussed, indexes had 1 detachment, and the new codex has multiple ways to play.
Sometimes I feel like 40k is too smart a game for me. I think there's just lots of weird interactions that come up that sometimes people don't know how they interact. And I like the analysis of trying to work out how they interact. You can play the game not knowing half of what's going on, you know. You turn up your awesome dice, shoot some shit, make some charges or whatever. But when you're playing at a competitive level, you need to know every intricacy to like truly beat someone, you know. But yeah, the fact is the core rules are too small, so they have a 20-page document to clarify what goes on. It's just, the problem is with any wargame is interaction. The rules work, it's how my rule works with your rule, and that's always the issue. They'll undoubtedly tighten up the rules and definitions after a year of fixes. Yeah, true. We're having a rules law discussion because they're fun. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like we're just like breaking it down and trying to work it out, and then we try to find the evidence why. These are the conversations you have in your local club. You know, like, oh, well, this happened. How does that work? Did I get that right? Is that wrong? Type deal. So, yeah, I like rules breakdowns like that. I like trying to work it out, but ultimately it doesn't matter because it's hardly ever going to happen. You know, when are you going to charge the flank line of a Hellblaster unit and you just so happen to lose 2 on Overwatch? You know, it just doesn't happen. So it's just very infrequent, but those types of situations are fun.
Play your army. And it's interesting that Necrons have jumped right in there and been competitive, which is good for us to see. We will have to keep an eye on Necrons in that if over the next few months is their win percentage a little bit too high, we then may have to manage them in the next points update or the next balance data sheet. But for now, it's good to see a new codex coming out and performing. But they weren't. What was positive is it wasn't 5 or 6 Necron armies in the top 8. That would have been concerning.
Of course,
I think there was 1 or 2, which is a good mix. But yes, from what was also exciting is for Matt's list, for example, he took a monolith, which we haven't seen monoliths get much competitive play since maybe 5th or 6th edition. They've not seen the table in any dominant form in a while. He only ran one though, so it wasn't like he was taking 3 and trying to make it so that people just couldn't. Can you kill a monolith or not?
Yeah.
That's my game plan. He had 1, and he's using the detachment, which we designed to let you play monoliths. They have stratagems that support the monolith. They have abilities which work well in conjunction with the monolith, and he's taken that detachment, seen the potential with the monolith, and then perform very well with it. So that's always exciting, seeing Necron lists that he's used the detachment that's designed to benefit certain units, and then he's picked those units because it makes most sense. And then comparatively for the Nottingham Super Major, which
it's good that they've got a mix. I think people are just scared of Necrons because they just won LVO. I do think Necrons are beatable, but they feel very scary because they've got a lot of tricks that people haven't quite figured out yet. I think that's what the crutch of it is. If Necrons go and win everything next week, then fine. But I think that'll probably be more down to the fact that the things that Necrons had to try and beat was Eldar and Chaos Space Marines, and they've been nerfed, which is inherently buffed Necrons. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because I think a lot of people will pivot to Necrons instead. But yeah, you can find truly intriguing gimmicks by breaking down rules, like playing Deathwatch kill teams encourage you to roll slow roll saves due to mixed saves wounds. It's important to discover. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
we had.
Yes, yeah.
That was a Necrons won that one as well, so we do have to keep an eye on Necrons.
Okay.
But that was a completely different Necron list. It was a Canoptic Court list, which is designed around the things like Wraiths and the Doomstalkers, and that list features...
I don't think Nottingham using the Devastating Wounds change. I don't think Nottingham are using the change to the rules. So they had the stratagem that allowed you to... They had the stratagem that allows you to use Devastating Wounds on Immortals, for example, and now you can't do that because it is only Canoptek and Cryptek models. I don't know who won that one, though. Who won Nottingham? When was Nottingham? I can't even remember. Oh, I'll put every system like an idiot. Nottingham 40k Super Major. That didn't take very long. Placings. It was won by Josh! With Necrons! Oh, that's hilarious! He won That's so funny! That is hilarious! Oh my god! We need to keep an eye on Necrons because they just won the Nottingham. By the way. Oh, Josh is such a fucking legend. Oh my god! That is so funny. Oh look, double immortals with plasmancers. And loads of Canoptek. What a fucking boy! That is funny. That is funny. That is so good. That's like having the murderer as the expert witness in a court case. Oh my god. That is so good. That is so good. That is so good. Oh man. Oh no. What happened? Do I need to explain it? Listen to the last 20 seconds. Listen very carefully.
Benefit certain units, and then he's picked those units because it makes most sense. And then comparatively for the Nottingham Super Major, which we had,
yes, yeah,
that was a Necrons won that one as well, so we do have to keep an eye on Necrons.
Okay.
But that was a completely different Necron list. It was a Canoptic Court list, which is designed around the things like Wraiths and the Doomstalkers, and that list featured heavily on the Canoptic units.
That was his list. He won Nottingham's Super Major with that list. He's talking about himself. That also a terrible time to pause. Sorry, Josh. That is very, very funny. That is so, so funny. Oh my god. He's talking about his win. Look. Look. Josh Roberts, number 1. That's so funny. That's so hilarious. That is so... Oh my god. Is this the guy in the 40k design team? Yes, it is. Josh has won 3 of my 5 events, or he either won or came second at my events all last year. Oh, hilarious shit. Hilarious shit. Well fucking done, Josh. That is the biggest slap at the balls on the desk, my big fat cock on the table type energy. And I fucking love it. Well done. Well fucking done. That's a conflict of interest. He's been on the design team for like 2 months. He's been on the design team for like 2 months or something. He's not. This is his. The Balanced Dataslate is the first thing he's dealt with. The grin while he talks about it. It's so good. It's so good. That smile, that goddamn smile. Oh mate, that's so funny. That is actually. Oh my god, that is hilarious. That is so good. So good. Stu left. No, he's the head. Josh is in charge of the balancing. Just wheeled these brass balls in a wheelbarrow in his first appearance. I was like, Josh, I can't believe they put Josh on the chopping block. Like, he's been there for only a few months. You know, he's been there. It's like, I think it was like October last year or something he started or was about to start. And I was like, oh my god, they're putting Josh on the chopping block. This is the first Balanced Dataslate. And he's been the one who's having the first one he's worked with or had a part with, and he's having to go out and do the thing for it. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna slap my balls on the table and tell everyone I did. There's not even Super Major. Man, that Necron player, fucking what a go. Oh bro, that's so funny. It's so funny. So good.
And didn't have a monolith, didn't have any of the Catans, which Matt Laura did have Catans in. So there was quite a lot of differences between the 2 lists. So it showed that there was multiple viable ways to play.
Yeah.
The Eldari list is the staple.
Wait, when he talks about Folger's list from LVO, which he pioneered, also true. Josh basically invented the fucking in-card triple night spinner Warp Spider Wraith card list. He essentially designed it, you know. They were like, this man is too powerful. Let's get him in the design studio instead.
Eldari list. It was the triple night spinner Yunkan list, which has developed over the last few months to be the Necron list. Sorry, the Eldari list to do well at events.
Because he does well at events with it. It's only now he went, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna play Necrons for a bit because this might be the last big blowout I can have for a while. He pioneered he was the one doing. Yeah, he's the one who did the thing with the list. He was the look. Look. Hellstorm Wargaming. All Stars. Hellstorm All Stars. I need to be more I need to clarify a little bit more. Here he is. Not this game. The next one. Wait, no, this is the wrong one. I invited the best 8 players. That's the wrong stream. There. Look. Listen. There's Josh. There's Josh with the Eldar list. He pioneered the list. It's his list. Oh, man. There's his Night Spinners, his Incon, and his Rave Guard versus the same list. But he was the one. He was the guy. He did the thing. There's his Rave... They're not his Rave Guard. They're Petford's Rave Guard. I think. No, they're on this side. Anyway, he did the thing. He is the better. Watch him play. Literally. Oh, man. Where are you going wrong? What do you mean where? Oh, step 1, break game. Step 2, get job at GW. Where are you going wrong? I'm too boastful about it. That's my problem. I don't talk like Josh. That's why they don't like me. Okay. I boast and laugh. Okay. Because I have what's known as, I mean, Josh does, but I have what's known as a sense of humor. Okay. And when things, when things don't work, I like to laugh. That's why I don't profit. Okay. People don't like my sense of humor at GW, as far as I'm aware. That's the vibe I get. They don't like my sense of humor. They prefer people who are very quiet and toe the line. Whereas I just kind of laugh at the line and point at it, and go, haha, that's a funny line. That's it. What if you'd be allowed to smash outlet events this year? Be considered for integrity if you end up winning the ITC. Yeah, there's a real deal breaker, like a real problem there. Because 1, you want Josh to continue playing because 1, super nice guy, deserves all the success. 2, keeps him informed of the meta. Obviously, he'll be able to watch the meta, like looking at lists, but keeps his experiences and like hands on the ground, like boots on the ground type experience back into the studio. However, he's now a balanced design team, so he has a lot more influence of people playing events than anyone else. So it can be like a conflict of interest of well, he balances the game and he's doing really well. That's really weird, Imagine getting bans playtesting for playing. I've always said if you're a playtester, you probably shouldn't play competitive. And this is kind of like the same vibe. So ultimately, as much as I'd love him to see him continue play, it is a conflict of interest. So you want him to keep a finger on, you want him to keep a finger on the pulse, but you don't want him to do too well. But also don't do shit because you don't want to go to an event and be the rules right and go 06, So anyway, that's fucking hilarious. What a boy.
We have tackled some of those units in the balance update, so hopefully we'll start to see some more variety from the Eldar lists going forward.
Also as well, someone gets crowned the ultimate winner, which is brilliant for those kind of events, but I think it's just like a fantastic way to kind of celebrate the hobby as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I go to a lot of tournaments, and for me, one of the best thing about tournaments is...
And wins.
You can meet people from all over the world. you play people that you don't necessarily get to play in your local gaming store or your local club, but you all have a shared love of a hobby that it doesn't matter if I'm from the UK and I'm playing somebody from Singapore.
Yeah.
We both love 40k and we want to...
It's a huge conflict. He plays Necrons and they were not touched. Necrons weren't touched because it's too soon. They've just had a codex and they had a nerf 2 weeks ago. But he doesn't play Necrons. He plays whatever's good, which is very different. The Necrons haven't not been touched because he plays Necrons. He was playing Eldar like 3 weeks ago. He took Eldar to the championships, He played Necrons recently. That doesn't mean they've not been touched because he's like, well, Necrons are good. I probably shouldn't touch them. It's because they're too new and they had a nerf 2 weeks ago.
We have a common language to talk. It doesn't matter if our job's completely different. We can still enjoy that. And I think that's what's so great about these events, in that I think LVO had participants from 20 plus countries. I think they put a list up before the event. I'm sure you can look it up if you want to. But they had players from all over the world who'd come to enjoy the event. And then the format they have as well is, even though the top 8 are the only players that play on the Sunday, they have additional events for everybody else that's there. Okay. So there's like a single day event on the Sunday for those, or they had seminars. So it's really almost a convention on top as well as the event. So there's so much to do. I mean, and we did some reviews at LVO where we showed off some new miniatures and you got people excited.
Yeah, we did.
So it's a big experience, and it's a big celebration for players to go and enjoy. So we're really pleased.
Great, amazing. Well, Josh, thank you ever so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you and to chat about the meta and Warhammer 40,000 as well. So that's great. And thank you guys as well for joining us. We'll see you next time on Metawatch.
It's quite funny. The not announcing him as new or anything. So he was like, it's always a pleasure. Probably the first time he's chatted to him properly. Josh was like, we just released the Necron Codex. Didn't work there when the Necron came out. We did this last time. Didn't work there. It was funny. But they won't announce someone's new because they don't like doing anything with anyone, with any staff member. Why would they give credit when they can just pretend that nothing happened? And that's usually what they go for. Click Mikey reading that comment and let's start some drama. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Is he on Team England? I don't know. I've got no idea. I imagine there's probably like a bit of an issue there. I had a chat to him at the championships about it. And it was like, I'm not going to reveal details and stuff, but I don't know if he's going to be on Team England or not. As far as I'm aware, he will be, but I don't know. But that's it, chat. That's everything for today. That's all the news headlines. Metawatch, very funny. Perfect clip. I'm going to try and release some more stream clips, stream highlights. Perfect clip. Smashed it. Crazy headlines. Smashed it. Big massive battle report channel dead because of the balanced data slate, as confirmed on Twitter. Smashed it. I think we did everything. There's nothing else happening. So this Friday at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be playing Old World on stream. I actually have all the stuff on the desk, as you can see. There's loads of stuff on the desk because we're trying to get it. I'm trying to get it all ready for the weekend. The week even, this weekend, this Friday. So tune in Friday at 8 p.m. if you want to see some Old World content. You just want to kind of hang out and chat and shoot the shit. But I'm probably not going to paint today because it's 1. I need to go and have some lunch. I've got some meetings this afternoon. So thank you so much for hanging out on the news, the morning news. I'm afraid Bob Ross has been delayed until next week. Okay, we'll have to do it next week instead. And if you didn't know already, you might not have known. But there's a very important thing happening very soon. And if you click on the pinned comment, you can see what it is. Big things! Big things, chat! 3 events happening this year! 3 events! It's crazy! It's crazy! Big things! Big things! Super All-Stars 2! 31st of August, 1st of September. I'm doing the big thing. Please go and take a look. Go and have a nosy if you can make it. That'd be super cool. I'm spamming chat. You have to look now. I spammed it a lot. I've got banned from my own chat. I can't send any more messages. Okay. Please come down. Come and take a look. Come and grab a ticket if you haven't already. That'd be super cool. It'd be really good to have you. If not, I will see you again Friday evening at 8 p.m. playing the Old World. Play the Old World on stream, baby. That's the plan. So thanks for tuning in. I love you all. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for the donations. Thank you to NapGod for the direct donation within the pinned top link. You can do that. You can donate to me directly via Streamlabs, and it goes directly to my PayPal, so YouTube don't take 30% off me. But if you'd like to support the channel, become a member or gift a membership. If you haven't already, that'd be super cool. Or if not, if you want to come play some Warhammer in person, come and meet me, come and meet the team, come and have a good time with the boys. Then grab a ticket to Super All-Stars this year. Also, Warp Time, thanks for upgrading the membership. You're a fucking legend. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing that. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it all. Right. Go and have a good day. Go and have some lunch, touch some grass, and drink some water. Okay? Love you all, and goodbye for now. Bye.